Hello, everybody, and welcome back to We Bought a Mic, a podcast about the best movies of 2025. It's Listomania 2026 Part 2. Best films. Here we are, top 4. Welcome. My name's Ernest.
My name is No Other Hunter.
Woo!
I'm Drew, but like the Drew is replacing the word weapons.
It's nice.
Oh,
So it's like a pun.
yeah.
And the triangle is in the D.
Like you did No Other Hunter. Weapons just has one word, so it's just Drew.
Okay, yeah.
What do you want me to do about that?
I'm Hunter, but it's actually Sinners.
Yeah, exactly.
And joining us today, welcome back, Collin Goode. How you doing?
That's what's up.
How you feeling about
movies?
the top portion of the list? Is this where it gets real?
I think it's all just going to overlap very, very quickly.
Yeah, like almost entirely.
I think there's no more surprises.
But there are a couple movies on here that we haven't given a full-fledged episode that deserve it.
What if I'm just like,
we're gonna fucking yap.
what if I'm just like
Don't
number
spoil it
4,
if I haven't
Mickey
seen
17? Like I really
hey,
go off the rim.
A good movie.
Shut the hell up.
It's a good movie.
Number 3, live action How to Train Your Dragon.
So if you haven't listened to part 1, we set the order already, and we did our 10 through 5. So if you want to listen, go back and listen to that one. As we said, we don't know each other's lists, and we're saving the discussion for the overlap picks for whoever has it the highest. There's been some movies mentioned in part 1 that we haven't talked about yet, so we'll get into those. But as we said in the intro, very top heavy year, a lot of overlap here. We're going to hit honorable mentions as well and shout outs of the Discord fam, of the WBAM fam, after we wrap up the number 1 picks.
So stay in line.
So
if you're listening for that.
We'll get into my number 4. My number 4 is a movie that I think I might be the only person that has it. It was just an accident.
I'm so happy that you have this on. This was one that I needed to rewatch, and I just haven't had a chance to rewatch.
I didn't get to see this one. Colin, have you seen it?
No, I have not. But
Yeah.
it's been on my radar ever since it won the Palm.
Please speak on it.
Yes, it won the Palme d'Or at the Cannes Film Festival. Jafar Panahi, a guy who has been a known entity in the film community for 15, 20-ish years.
Decades.
And yet
He's got some lore.
There is lore, exactly. And yet this is the first Jafar Panahi movie I've ever seen. And so I had to do a lot of research leading up to this episode. And yet I still feel like there's so much more to learn. This is an Iranian filmmaker. This is an Iranian film, but it's financed by France and Luxembourg and all these other European countries. I would describe it as a thriller. It's a story of a guy who finds his potential, what he thinks is his former torturer. The movie sort of hints at a lot of real life history, recent history of Iran. You'd have to kind of read up. I was trying to do a lot of research last night of like what's gone down in Iran. Turns out that a lot has gone down in Iran.
Yeah, you're like, what the hell?
In the last like week,
Yeah.
things are not good
Things are
over there.
Quite the timing for this movie to really hit the zeitgeist.
Very, very bad. But this is sort of in the aftermath of some turmoil that happened post 21st century, like sort of 2000s, 2010s turmoil. It's almost like Iran has turmoil every decade or so. A lot of oppression, a lot of...
So that means you're really pro like America kind of inserting themselves in everything to kind of bring some law and order, right? Yeah, okay,
absolutely not.
Like your MO.
Jafar Panahi is a guy who has been persecuted for his filmmaking. This is a guy who has been imprisoned and threatened with further imprisonment just for making movies, just for depicting life in Iran. That's crazy to me.
Yeah.
That was something that I had to read up over and over and over again to try to get it through my fucking brain that somebody could be imprisoned and charged with crimes simply by showing reality.
We're really close to getting arrested for podcasting.
Sure. Absolutely.
With the radical shit that we spin on here.
Well, I do think that it's important to note to that point about like, Panahi's past. He has been arrested multiple times for years at a time because of the work that he has done in filming movies. And this is a movie that is directly about a lot of the kind of false imprisonment that is happening in the country. And so therefore it is shot entirely in secrecy.
Yeah, the ripple effects of it. I think that, he's always interested in what's happening outside the bounds of the horror, right? And that's something that this movie is trying to, the dance, the balance that it's trying to do is that it never wants to depict the horrific acts. It is a movie about the people living in the aftermath of those acts and whether or not they can live beyond it. So the movie sort of starts with this basic setup of what you think is the main character, and it turns out not to be, which leads into the introduction of our main character. I won't give away the trick that it pulls in the opening chunk, but as you get into it, it just throws you into this very, kind of conventional plot of will they, won't they commit this crime, right? Will they, won't they enact revenge? This dilemma, this moral back and forth of, do we have the right guy? Did we find the actual person that we want to enact revenge upon? And that's kind of the whole movie. It's just a series of conversations. It's a series of arguments and, people presenting different perspectives of their trauma and their experience in a time of oppression and violence and torture that they want to leave behind. And that this event, this potential capturing of this torturer is relitigating and making them sort of think and confront. I think this movie is a very difficult watch, but it never shows you anything that is like horrifying. It's difficult in the way that it never like cuts away. There are so many long takes in this movie, and there is this unrelenting quality to the filmmaking, and yet you're never forced to watch anything directly horrifying or directly violent. Somehow he manages to make a movie that feels like it's stabbing you in the gut, and yet you never are forced to watch that stabbing.
Well, it's one of those like happy accidents because the way this movie is constructed, because it had to be shot in secret. It's a lot of just fixed tripod shots. That's just like all right, here's the tripod. We got one take to do this. Everybody like just kind of like line up and circle around each other. And it's expertly staged and crafted and written that there will just be like a 7-minute scene that's just them standing, like kind of walking around outside of a van trying to figure out what they will do or what they should do. I think that's another point to add on to kind of the themes of this movie and like the will they, won't they. One of the biggest resonant points of this movie that is very poignant in the day and age that we are living in, whether it is in Iran or even if it's in our own country in America today, is like should we stoop to their level kind of a thing? Obviously, like as you kind of meet the cast of characters, these are all people who have undergone some kind of trauma or have experienced the horrors done to them. And so now it becomes a little bit of this question of like, are we the monsters? Are we stooping to their level by wanting to exact revenge? And it's, there is no cut and dry answer to that. Like, it's something that it's almost like, can you find the morality and the right answer that you yourself can live with? Because that's kind of all that we can do in this kind of a situation. It's a movie about, when a government reaches this level of oppression, that it traumatizes its citizens, its people to this level. And then you can live beyond that. And then you can find a life after that. Right. What is that life? Well, and then how much can you actually be okay and free yourself of that psychological turmoil? Well, does it haunt you forever? And to that point, can you be totally fine in living your life and you've moved on, and then that one trigger happens? Does it all come back? Are you actually moved on? You hear a creaky leg move, and does that bring back all of the trauma? Like, have you thought that you've moved past this and you've started a life and you're getting married and whatever it might be, but there's just these one little triggers. Like you can never really outrun the past. The past is always going to be there.
It's where we're going.
We got to give a shout out to this cast here. Especially Vahid Mabasari, who plays kind of one of the leads of the film, and Mariam Afshari, who plays the character Shiva, who you kind of meet later on as the story progresses. Phenomenal. Yeah. And I mean, whenever you're talking about some of these like long oneers that you're seeing, like that is just actors, capital A fucking acting out there, and they are incredible in this movie.
The final chunk of this movie is just this really long one take.
It's
scene.
one of the scenes of the year, without a doubt.
Phenomenal stuff. Just I'm at a loss for words. I mean, it's gutting. It's infuriating. It's confounding. You understand all the viewpoints. You want to take the side of our heroes, and yet they are giving in to some extent. So the movie finds a way to sort of give you that jolt of satisfaction, that it's all building up to something, some kind of cathartic, thrilling moment. But what does it all mean? What does it all contextualize itself to in the context of this thing? And this is one that I had to read up on a lot of context after the fact. What I was saying earlier about the recent history of Iran. I still don't feel like I have a grasp on it. And then, given the fact that we might, by the time this episode goes out, we might have invaded Iran. Thousands of people have been killed in recent protests by the regime. There's no right answers. I mean, I know that a lot of people are hurting, and Iran has gone through all these waves of feeling like they're out of the oppression. And now it feels like we're kind of in another hole. So this is a movie that I feel like should be seen by as many people as possible. Weirdly an easy one to recommend given the heaviness, but I think the fact that it doesn't depict like super horrifying acts, it makes it a little bit more digestible. So seek it out. It was just an accident, directed by Jafar Panahi, hoping it gets in on Best Picture, Best Director, Best Screenplay.
It's a lock I will say it is a lock for Best Picture and for Best Director. I think at this point, I actually think that there is a pretty good chance that if we see some kind of an upset in Best Director, it's actually going to be Jafar Panahi beating Paul Thomas Anderson because of especially the weight. The whenever you take kind of the real life side of things that are also informing how this movie is going out in the world, I'm pretty sure, and I don't know if this has been officially announced, but I'm pretty sure that it is coming out the day of or the day after Oscar nominations come out. I think that's very purposeful that they are trying to time this, that movie is going to get a handful of noms and getting this out into the world. I definitely echo all of your sentiments.
Collin, what do you think we should do about Iran?
You got any ideas?
Well,
just trying to loop you in here.
Secretary of State Collin here.
You are in charge of Venezuela.
From what you guys are describing, this movie kind of reminds me of it's making me think of Denis Villeneuve's film Incendies.
Yes. Actually, it does share a lot of DNA with Incendies.
That's what I think we should do. Just watch Incendies, I guess.
That'll solve it.
Yeah.
It was just an accident is my number 4. Collin, we are at your number 4.
My number 4, Sinners.
Oh, just a bit.
Yeah.
Save it. Drew, number 4.
This is good podcasting. Weapons.
Are we at weapons yet?
No.
You're
I know Collin feels very strongly.
Okay. Number 4, Hunter.
Well, now I already know based on our podcast before or our talk or pre-pod talk that I might have to save this one. My number 4 is No Other Choice.
Yeah, baby. We're waiting.
I really, really want to watch that.
Collin,
that's my biggest mess.
You'll love it.
I will say,
easy recommend.
We are at the point in the pod. This happened really with Weapons sentimental value range, where like all these movies, they could be number 1 on any given day.
Yeah,
like that's kind of we're at the
for
top
not seeing all these great films.
Yeah, well, fucking step it up, brother. Educate yourself.
Are these movies in theaters?
No other choice, actually. I think it goes wide next week or week after that.
But by why do you mean Tallahassee?
Well,
You guys are being so privileged.
Don't dox me.
All right, we're at my number 3. We're going to have to save it. It is Martino Supremo.
Yeah, you have to say that.
Yes.
Well, this is a really great podcast, and we've now gone around the horn and a half and have not talked about.
We just talked about it was just an accident.
That was a full round ago. So
Collin, number 3.
My number. My number 3 is One Battle After Another, the latest Paul Thomas Anderson.
I haven't
movie.
heard about it.
number 3. Well,
Yeah.
I think you have to say for these. It
What
didn't
is this movie?
It didn't make my cut, but
It's a new entry in the
How do you
Coogler
spell it?
trilogy.
It's the sequel to Eddington.
yeah.
Yeah, the secret sequel. Yeah. Drew, number 3.
No other choice. Let's go. Let's talk.
Nice. Let's go.
Literally my number 12.
I almost bumped it over my number 2. It's like fucking stupid good. Stupid good.
The craftsmanship of this movie. Do you like that was kind of the thing that was just like we watch a lot of movies. We've now on what is this? This is year 8 of this fucking podcast that we've been doing
think
here,
so,
this
yeah.
journey that we've been going down together. There's shit that is in this movie that I'm like, I know you could do that.
Yeah.
Never seen that one before.
Yeah, it's a lot of transitions that are just better than anything you've ever seen. A lot of camera placement where you're like, how on earth, Park, have you thought of this? How have you done such a thing? If you haven't heard the quick synopsis of it, it's a Korean film. It's Park Chan-wook. After being unemployed for several years, a man devises a unique plan to secure a new job, eliminate his competition. It is sold to you as like a black comedy, as like a really dark comedy. What I wasn't expecting from The Cell, it is a silly, silly, silly comedy. It gets really dark. It dips. The subject matter itself obviously is dark, but like you are watching just pure silliness, as particularly in like the first hour and a half. Like it's just like flat, like broad comedy. It's fucking funny stuff. And the other reason that shocked me is that it translates like flawlessly across languages. There are 2 reasons why. Number 1 is because Park knows how to direct. He knows how to, in order to get a joke to land in another language, the intent of the shot has to be very clear. You have to know what you need to be looking at in order to laugh. That is never in doubt with Park Chan-wook. He knows how to make you look at something. The second piece of it is just the performances are fucking crazy.
Lee Byung-hun.
It's so fun. These people are blowing my mind with how funny they are. Like like language barrier doesn't matter.
It gets rowdy. This thing, like once it starts getting twisty turny, there's stretches in this movie where you feel like you are just on a fucking ride.
Yeah.
And it's mostly because of the performances, because these people are so expressive and the way they react, I think it's giving you kind of these 2 lanes of that comedy that you're talking about, but also this is a violent movie. This is a story about someone attempting murder.
Yes.
Like you have to have that drama, that seriousness in there too.
And it really, like, the movie does make you reckon with that in a serious way toward the end. But I was not ready for how goofy, big chunks of this movie were going to be. The lead role, it is the type of performance and the type of role that made me think a lot about like 90s guys, like Jim Carrey mostly. Like it's just so
such a good call.
He's just so like elastic. Like he's making just big expressions, big faces, not as big as Jim Carrey. And I think that's good because Jim Carrey does a little too much most of the time. It's just pitch fucking perfect. Like it's so dialed. But
it's something where like there's something almost cartoonish to some of the acting that's in the movie, but then they're in a very real space. Like I think of, without getting spoilers into the movie, there's a scene that's a music cue is happening while this is happening. It is a record that gets turned up way too fucking loud. And like the sound mixing in this movie is phenomenal. Again, speaking to the craft, but it's so funny and so like stupid because it's almost to not bring up this movie for a second time in this podcast, but it's a little bit indicative of The Killer, where it's like, this is a guy who's like not good at this. Like he's never done this before. Like,
I mean, it's worse than The Killer. Like he can't.
What does the act of killing a guy entail?
if you like can't do it, like it's really exactly.
You get the yips when it comes to murder.
I don't know, just the way that the movie opens itself up in ways you don't expect to. It goes down paths that like the premise does not ask. In particular, with this first kill, we get to know this couple that is involved with this sequence so well. We spend a lot of time with them. Both actors are lights out, phenomenal, like funny people. And you get just like the rest of the movie, there are so many setups and payoffs that you like slowly figure out that like this couple is like a weird parallel couple to our lead couple. Speaking of which, his wife, Sun Yi Jin, is again,
right.
Like I would give her Asian films in general, particularly in the acting fields, do not get nearly enough representation for awards, not enough respect. I would give there are like 4 great cases in this movie. They're all so fucking good. It just that married with the amount of craft that you get, like the entire time I'm just going like, oh my God. Like, where's this movie? I would love every movie to feel like this.
I think that you were kind of struck by the silliness of this movie. And I think that I was a little bit surprised by, and maybe I shouldn't have been, because as the person who had decision to leave a couple years ago in my top 5, maybe I should have expected more of this, but there is so much like love and care given to the characters in this movie and in this world. Like
they're so fleshed out,
even to not our main family. Like you spend time to get to know and get to care about all of these ancillary characters that might be offed by our main guy.
Exactly.
And that's such like a little thing. And I've heard some people talk about the runtime of this movie. It is pretty long. It is like a full 2 hours and 20 minutes. Like it's a little bit beefed out, but I don't really,
that's okay.
There's nothing that would really cut out of it because I don't want to lose those little moments that you get.
All what I wrote is it's just all of the corners are painted in. Like it's just like it's such like a full world. When it doesn't need to be it would still be a good movie, but that's what makes it a great movie.
It feels complete.
That, and then on top of that, the technique is just like stupid. Yeah. Like it's not distracting you in the way that like early Edgar Wright would, but that's like a comparison that you think of just because comedy usually doesn't have this. It usually doesn't have this caliber of filmmaker behind it. That I was having such a hard time coming up with comparisons for the tone or feel.
Edgar Wright isn't bad because of the hyper stylization that's in this movie. Like that's not a bad comparison, but Edgar Wright's never dealt with something as heavy a topic as like end stage capitalism.
Yeah, exactly. And like his style gets in the way of his story and his characters a lot of the time, and that it doesn't in this movie. It's not distracting. It's all contributing to the same thing, to the same feeling that it's giving you. And so it like the only thing it's tonally so different, but like I was thinking of like the Coens.
Yeah.
Like just the idea of like a world-class filmmaker really putting time and thought into something that's silly, but also like really dark and really deep.
And a guy who's committing a crime that he is way in over his head.
Yeah, exactly.
And getting into and running into these corners of coincidence that like
there's so
much
much
problems that resolve themselves.
Every single setup has a payoff in the movie in ways that you would never expect. It's all really, really tidy for how long it is.
Right. It's very clean. It's a weirdly clean movie. I mean, obviously the movie that this has gotten the most comparisons to, I think a little bit unfairly, is Parasite, because it's a South Korean filmmaker making a film that is about like end stage capitalism. I know it has a lot of the same broad strokes as Parasite, but I think that that's about where the comparisons end, because they are very different in like what they are trying to express in both a thematic way and in just kind of some of those craft elements.
Well, he's not bringing his family along here. He's on his own.
Yeah.
That's like the biggest difference, I think.
He's on his own to an extent, and I don't want to like kind of get too much into how the movie evolves a little bit.
But
the family does play a key role in this movie.
The family's awesome. The house is awesome. Just like A+ locations all over the place. Every single place you're in is just gorgeous.
Probably a lot of VFX, comparable to something like Parasite, where he's sneaking in visual effects. There's that house is probably a lot of visual effects. It looks so amazing.
It was, yeah. He also Park said in an interview that like that house was like, you know, a million hours were put into locating the right house and then doing some effects because it's really important. He said that house design in particular was like a cookie cutter, frequently used one across Korea, like back in the day, and so like it's just very familiar. It just I kind of ran out of reasons that this movie like couldn't be high. Like I could put it higher.
You're on the Park train.
I'm going to see it again very soon.
Well, welcome to the Park train,
should
brother.
We do an Old Boy episode?
I would love to revisit Old Boy. I haven't seen Old Boy in like a decade.
Collin, you've seen Old Boy, right?
Oh yeah, it's a masterpiece.
It's so fucked up.
Like 4 or 5 times. I was going to ask Drew if this was his first Park film. Because I've only seen Old Boy and The Handmaiden.
I've never seen Handmaiden. Man, should we?
Great.
God, should we kick Denzel?
Dude, I'm telling you, Park Chan-wook is a genius. Well, no,
exactly.
Man. I don't really Decision to Leave, Lady Vengeance, Stroke, like so many.
Like, help me out here, because I feel like a lot of like reviews I'm seeing, like I think people are taking this movie for granted just because of what he's done before, maybe. But even like his last few movies, it's not like everyone saw them. So what am I missing here? Like, why isn't this the movie?
Maybe things are lost in translation. I think that, you know, it's what Bong said when he won the Oscar. It's like you have to get over that 1-inch barrier.
It's true, but I saw so many reviews that were like, God, another perfect film from the master, 4 stars out of 5. Like, why?
Yeah.
What's missing?
I think Old Boy, because Old Boy's been around for over 20 years.
Yeah.
And I think that's what.
No,
exactly.
I think that's that he has that like hump that, you know, people are cursed with when they peak so early. But like watching this movie, I was just like, every 10 minutes, there's something that is just like an unmistakable master could do.
I do think that there is. I mean, he did also get like a lot of critical acclaim come The Handmaiden too, but now that was a decade ago. But I think that Park is just kind of one of those guys. I think it's twofold. I think one, Park is just one of those guys who he doesn't resonate with like the Academy in the same way because he is a pretty unrelenting filmmaker whenever it comes to like some of the violent aspects. And that's not as like posh to a institution like the Academy. I think another one of the reasons is that they have done a better job of this, and we as a film society have done a better job of this. But usually what ends up happening with a lot of time with foreign language films is it's like we have space for one. Like we can exalt. And I'm not saying just the Academy, but I'm just saying is like the public purview. It's like we can only handle Anatomy of the Fall. I'm sorry, the taste of things. Like we don't have time for you.
Sure.
It's a little bit. I think that something like it was just an accident is kind of eating up a lot of the foreign language space for both this and I think for sentimental value too. And if like we went back 6 months ago, I think we would have said sentimental value have had the spot. But I think that it's a little bit of those things where it's like, this is good, but like we don't really have the space for you here. Like that has been taken by.
Have you seen this? Have you seen this a second time?
I have not. I have tickets to see it on Tuesday again.
So I have this at 12. I feel like when I see this movie a second time, I think it's just going to be in my top 10. Like I think it's just going to be like undeniable. I do this dance where I feel like, oh, I know you're going to have it on your list, so I'm just going to leave it out so I can make a slot for Wes Anderson and Yorgos. But like
that's why I left. That's why I left Companion off my list.
Yeah. Sure. But I think that it's just too good. It sticks in the brain really well.
Yeah, it's just the feel of it is it's so vibrant. You know, it's dark, but it's so vibrant and lively and colorful. Like I just wanted to stay in there.
Right.
You know? It's just a cool film
and harrowing. Really, like when it gets violent, it's all well executed. Goes all the way.
It's just a really easy recommend.
Guys,
go ahead.
I have a question. I haven't seen it, but by the end of the movie, is there another choice?
No.
And they also
they say there's no other choice like 7 times.
Yeah, they say it like 10 times. It's really funny. The script is hilarious.
I'll share this as someone who was unemployed for like 2 months. It's terrible, especially when you like it like rips your like identity away, and like
that's what this movie's about.
Yeah, like you have no clue what you're going to do.
Yeah, and
it's terrible. It's a terrible thing to experience.
The desperation, it also plays on just like being part of a dying industry and like a technological age. A recurring bit I love is how passionate all these dudes are about paper.
Dude, it's so funny, man. That's another thing about this movie.
There's so many good paper jokes. They're obsessed with paper.
Collin, have you considered like killing the people that are up for the other job that you want to be up for? Because that might
How do you guys
alleviate.
think I had the job now? I killed 2,000 people, so that I would be the prime applicant.
I don't think I've reached that point, but if it gets to the point where I just get replaced by AI and I'm just like, what do I do for work? Then
exactly.
I'm just gonna go to Five Guys, be like, I just want to flip the burger.
Yeah, the AI can't flip the burger. That's right.
Yeah.
The only conceivable critique I could, I would listen to is there is a pronounced loss of momentum, particularly probably after the first hour or so. And then from there, it goes up and down and up and down. Mm-hmm. So you do at times feel runtime. It's just, I just wanted to stay there. So I didn't care.
I mean, the structure of it, you're going after one guy, then you're going after the other guy. I think that there was a moment when you kind of wrap up the story of the first guy,
that's the thing.
You transition to the next guy where you feel like, oh no, there's still another hour in this movie.
That's what I'm talking about.
This movie,
because that first couple is so compelling and fun to watch that it's like, man, I don't even want to move on from them. I thought there was a good chance we'd just stick with them, and they do. I mean, they come back,
or that the movie would just find a way to end there. But you're thinking ahead, like, there's no way that's going to happen.
Exactly.
Hey, so there's no other choice.
So I think that's like a fair critique. It didn't bug me.
No, I love this.
Great movie.
Collin, I can't wait for you to see this movie. Wherever it goes more wide. Can't wait for the audience to see this movie because it's fucking sick.
No other choice. Drew's 3 and Hunter's 4. So Hunter, it looks like we're your number 3.
I'm guessing based on my number 3, I'm going to assume that this is your number 2, so we can talk about it now. My number 3 is Sinners.
Yes, it is my number 2. So we all have it. Let's get into it.
So I will say for Sinners, I have this at number 3. This was kind of one of those movies that was staying at number 1 for the longest stretch of time of any movie this year because it came during a fucking desert.
April.
When there was
early in April.
Literally nothing else around it. And it was like, God, this year sucks. At least we have Sinners. I was a lot more reticent going into this movie. I gotta give shouts out to Ernest that you were out here waving the Ryan Coogler flag in our anticipated movies of the year. Like, guys, Ryan Coogler has this vampire movie. It sounds sick. And I was like, the guy who made Black Panther Wakanda Forever, like,
he's washed.
I don't know about that. I never thought he was washed, but it was a little bit, there was so much going into this movie. And I think especially after seeing this movie again from home, and I just rewatched this a couple weeks ago, right before we turned in our ballots. This movie plays so fucking well on a rewatch.
Oh yeah,
like I think it plays.
Yeah.
I think it plays. I gave this movie 5 stars on my first watch. I think it plays even better on rewatch than it does on the first watch. And I will say right now that I think that if we go 10, 20 years into the future, I think Sinners is going to be the movie of 2025 that like the masses think about whenever they think about this year. Now, not only just the success of it, but I think the cultural impact that this movie has, even above some movies that we're yet to talk about on this podcast.
So genuinely, I agree with the sentiment that you're saying, but I think it's K-pop Demon Hunters.
Well,
it's Hamnet.
There's a little bit of that. It's Hamnet. Yeah.
Our children's children will love Hamnet.
It's Is This Thing On? Everybody's going to be talking balls.
So I didn't.
The balls costumes at next Halloween are going to go crazy.
I didn't get to watch this movie for a third time. I really wanted to watch it for a third time. I did watch it the 2 times, but I did return.
The 4K is actually getting delivered tomorrow to my house. Can't wait to fire that up.
I did return to the soundtrack because, once we're in the top 3, like these movies are so memorable that I can just play the soundtrack and just see the movie in my head. And this is a movie rooted in music. Mm-hmm. And so when you listen to the soundtrack, you are rooted in the soul of the movie. And shout out to Ludwig Göransson and Coogler and everybody, and Miles Caton, everybody that's just adding all of their craft and talent into this thing. Yeah, it's a vampire movie. It's also a movie about the blues. It's a movie about the soul of Black people in Jim Crow era Mississippi in the Delta. It is a movie about one big night of fun. And when that night just comes all crashing down, and you can divide this movie in half, and it's all this build up to this big party, and then everything horrible that happens after that. And the scene that divides it, the breaking through the veil of time and ancestry and descendants, is the scene of the year. It is the scene that, sitting there in the theater, the first watch, it just fucking brought me to tears because of movies, baby. Fucking movies. That is the power of cinema. I know that this scene didn't play well for everybody, but it's just one of those things where it's like, you know, Ryan Coogler like clearly built up all this talent working with Marvel and Disney. And this is his first original movie since
Fruitvale Station.
But that's based on a real guy. Like, when was the last time? Is this his first original movie?
True, like not ripped from real life or anything like that. Yes.
So he's built up all of this like knowledge of how to make a movie, how to make a blockbuster. And it all pays off so well at every fucking moment of this thing. It is unbelievable. And this scene, when you're just lifted and transcended into this realm of the future and the past and the present colliding through the power of music, I was jaw on the floor. It was unlike anything I've ever seen. And obviously everything after that is like all the juicy vampire stuff. And I love it, but that to me is like the cinematic moment of the year, save for a little car chase that we'll get to in a second. But this thing just floored me. I think everything about it is incredible. The cast, Michael B. Jordan, everybody involved, like it is just phenomenal.
One other note that I just want to make on this movie is that this movie is steamy. Like, this movie is fucking sexy. This movie is there's just hot people being fucking hot together. And not only, it's not just Haley Steinfeld.
It's not just Delroy Lindo.
It's not just Haley Steinfeld.
It's not just Josh Allen.
Like spiritually cheating on her husband, Josh Allen, with Michael B. Jordan spitting in his mouth and everything. It's also just like you have Wumi Masako.
Yeah,
with fucking
she
Michael
I think
B.
is the revelation of the movie. It's
so
like
good.
she is like such a scene stealer that I was kind of upset because I did want a good deal more of her in the movie.
I mean, but also she is like the one person who kind of knows what the fuck is going on here.
Yeah.
Like she is it's a little bit of inversion of like what race roles typically are in like traditional movies, which is really fun. I love the way this movie looks. Like, it looks so timeless in the way that it's shot. This was my number one for production design in our CACF thing, because the world that they build here, I still has been burned in my head. And it's kind of almost like a not throwaway scene, but it's something that happens very early on in the movie where they go into town. And it's that oneer where they start in like one little general store, and you follow the kid through and you see the road around here. And then you go into the other store, and it's like, this is a real place. Like, they just like they went and they built a fucking town, and this feels like we are just dropped into this little place, this little spot in Podunk, Mississippi, and it feels so lived in, and there's so much life that is permeating through the walls of everything that you are seeing here that it's incredible. It's a one of one.
I would say there's like 100 minutes or so where it's basically just like perfect filmmaking.
Yeah, that's kind of exactly how I feel. I think the majority of the film is like bliss. You know, it's just like, wow. And speaking toward like this is like what I was talking about in our last episode about Frankenstein, of like the uniqueness of the tone in a movie of this scale. This is that on steroids. Like you just don't get movies that feel like this, you know, that have this much heart infused into a big story.
Heart bordering on melodrama. And I kind of like the melodrama aspects of this. Like I kind of, especially on rewatch, like even like the way that some of those sequences are scored play really well, where it's just like we are playing with your heartstrings a little bit right here. Like we want to make you feel these moments between these two characters.
You're right. I think if I watch it again through that perspective of like, it has like that broadness element of just like, like you know, a kid could watch it and hear that music. And even if they don't understand the depth of the conversation, like the music helps out, you know, like stuff like that. He does super right. You know what the ultimate honor of this movie is? Maybe the highest honor it could possibly receive. It already has a rewatchables episode.
Oh, true. Number 16.
That is no.
So
our
your
guy,
number one's going to be F1 then, right?
that may have taken away some of the honor. I forgot about that. Our boy Bill Simmons is re-apexing this year. It's happening. The masses are coming back around. Yeah. And he has such a keen eye for like rewatchable films. The fact that he like the month after it came out, he's like, we're doing a Sinners. Yeah. Like it's true.
He's
it's
like
just
actively in the movie theater with a notepad writing down.
It just has that feel.
We gave this movie with our critics group 8 awards: picture, director,
this was the big winner, over one battle for our critics group.
Cast, production design, cinematography. Oh, production design was runner up to Frankenstein. Costume design, makeup and hairstyling was runner up to Frankenstein.
I do want to give a shout out to the costuming of this movie, because like, I mean, when you're thinking about like costuming, I think a lot of times that can be really hard to quantify if you are not a craftsman. The look of Smoke and Stack, the blue and the red,
perfect,
are just something that's just kind of like burned in your head forever. When you think about the Jack O'Connell character, these little Irish vampiric lads,
I love
they
them.
just have, there's so many like little things. And I don't often just think about the costuming choices whenever thinking about a movie, but like that isn't a period piece or something. But this is one of those that's like, no, you really just made iconic imaging that like I could just see this like on display on a mannequin. And I'd be like, oh, that's Smoke and Stack. Mm-hmm. And that's crazy.
Michael B. Jordan, you know, I had mild doubts that he'd be able to pull something off like this, and he does so well.
You've talked some shit about Michael B. Jordan on this podcast.
He's had bad performances before. He's also
this is hands down easily his best performance.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like it's not close.
Incredible in Creed. Like I think Creed is kind of, it's becoming a little bit underrated.
He is, but also once it's no longer directed by Coogler, he gets worse.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Like his performance.
Hey, what about when he directs himself?
Yeah, exactly. So it just he pulls it off with such ease. He has such star quality in this, like another level than I've ever seen from him. That was another revelation to me, at least. Is like, my God, like that's a tough thing to pull off. Not just the 2 characters, really 3 characters, I guess 4, no 3. Hard shit. Like, and he does it. He gets the most screen time here. You know, I talked about when we covered it at first, like, you know, the nits that I had to pick with it, but overall, I don't want to take away from how good the movie is. I do, you know, I think toward the end, it suffers from having to cram in a bunch of stuff at the very end there.
Yeah, I remember you harping on that. The fact that like there's this montage of footage that like
that was from like
shown before.
Well, like in the context of the movie, it's a montage of stuff that happened 6 hours ago. So it's like, that's not how you tell a story.
But it was clearly like cut scenes that weren't even there.
And then the other thing I really bumped on is how quickly they're like, oh, also that guy from before is coming and he's going to kill you. Just machine gun him.
Yeah.
But
we also get to see Michael B. Jordan with a machine gun.
No, I know.
I will say that's like that scene in particular, that is one of those things that plays really well on a rewatch.
You're probably right.
The moment that you see that fucking guy in the first scene, like every like that I don't know who the actor is that's playing the clan guy. But like every little micro expression that he has here is just like, oh, this guy's so clan. Like he wants to fucking kill these two brothers immediately. And like you can kind of see a lot of those things. The like montage sequence of them like painting a sign to like set up the thing. I maybe that's part of like the melodrama of the movie that I do like, is a little bit of that thing where it's like hey, we don't have to worry about the semantics here of like, did they go into town at 6:30 in the morning? And that's the only way we have time for this.
More than that, I just think it's clearly a symptom of sort of like running low on time and having to figure out how to stitch this end together, which, that happens. And, it sort of happens toward the end too, where you do get a lot of sort of wider shots where it's just a big cast of people just standing around. And that's like, that's some of the least compelling stuff to look at.
Come into the barn.
Yeah. And even inside the barn, it's just such a big ensemble that like it has that video game thing of like most of the characters have to just sort of be standing there like thoughtless,
ready for the battle. That's
just what happens when your ensemble gets so huge toward the end of the movie. So I can't hold that much against
Speaking of the ensemble, I mean, we got to shout out Delroy Lindo. He's a fucking legend. He's phenomenal in this movie. He gets his big scene
outside
in the
chance
car
of getting a nomination
for the Oscars. Yeah. My number one on my ballot was Miles Caton. I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He is such a find, and he is like the emotional core of this movie. I think that part of the reason why this movie works so well is because of his performance and the choice to, have his singing, his guitar playing, his musical ability be this crux of the plot. Like that's what the vampires are after. That's what they're trying to capture. That's why they're descending on this party. And he owns it. And I think, he doesn't get like many scenes outside of his singing and his actual like musical ability, but that's what the movie is about. And every time that the movie centers that aspect of it, I think he grabs it and he shows us like why he might be a new sort of star.
Yeah. So why did the Oscars not have a best breakthrough performance? Like this is one of those things. It's like, this is what you need a best breakthrough performance for, is because I want to give this man an Oscar for something like this.
I think like in my head, I ascribe how great he is a little bit more to Coogler than to him, because there are definitely moments in his performance when it's not based in music where it's like, okay, you're fresh.
But the movie is about music.
No, I know. Yeah. Well, and it's about someone who's fresh. That's the thing, is like you cast him because he has a crazy voice.
Yeah.
Like he can sing like a motherfucker. Yeah. That's why you cast the kid. And I think they made the right move of like, like you give him, he is, the wide-eyed, introduction to this world, and he is playing music. But then when you need like some hardcore acting, you go to the hardcore actors. Like, I think that's just good construction by Coogler. I think that's very smart.
Hey, you know who agrees with your nits that you have with this movie? Paul Walter Hauser.
Oh,
3 stars and a heart.
Wow, Paul.
He is actually the lowest person of any of my my mutuals.
That's crazy. This is like mutuals.
Yeah. Yeah, me and Paul, we kind of go back and forth. We bounce ideas off of each other.
He's oomphy to you.
He's part of Paul's in the Discord. Guys, get in the Discord.
I wish.
Friend with Paul.
No, that's crazy. For all the nits that I have, it's because we're talking about a movie that is like up there. It's like, it's because I love it so much.
I think it's like, it's a flawed 5-star for me, but for me, it's just like the highs of it are so unassailable and so one of one that I just.
Yeah, it's so cool. It's just a cool, well executed thing that he was able to get done.
Are we not going to talk about when like heavy metal was introduced in the score during like the vampire stuff? That's when it like kind of got to another level for me. Sick. I was like, Coogler understands like vampires.
Yeah. Let's deeply. Fucking go. That's such a good call. Yes. Like I said, I was listening to the score and when you hear that guitar, it's like you feel the doom.
It's heavy metal and then Irish folk music. As like, these are the two demonic entities.
I've actually been drinking Irish beer this entire time.
Oh my God.
Collin, are you invited into the barn?
Yeah.
I'm like 99% sure I'm like Irish as fuck.
Yeah.
So
I'm 100% sure you are.
Collin, do you have any like gold doubloons that you can offer us in order to join us in the pod studio tonight? Or
hey, they're old. They're really old.
Yeah.
Have you seen The Luck of the Irish, the Disney Channel movie?
No.
Hey,
I have not.
Last shout out for it is Omar Benson Miller, Cornbread.
Hey, Cornbread.
Great. Just
yeah.
a big motherfucker.
Yeah.
He's great.
So many great moments.
I do love, this is like a small moment that I've heard a lot of like Asian critics that I've seen give a ton of praise to is Lee Jun Lee, who plays Grace in the movie, and just the Asian depiction in general, where it's like, it's so great to see Asians depicted in like rural fucking South that actually have a Southern accent and aren't just like speaking with bad Chinese accents or something like that at the time. So again, just there was Coogler's doing here.
Yeah. Well, in the credits, there's a whole screen full of like cultural consultants that they went to get like, you know, like the mystical stuff, right? The era stuff. Yeah. Like it all is researched.
I mean, there's so much of this movie, and we didn't even talk about, we talked about a little bit when we did our full pod, but about the just kind of what this movie means in the context of the kind of conversation around it. I don't even think it was as much of a mega hit then as it is now, but the behind the scenes of Coogler being like getting the rights back for this movie after 30 years.
Ownership.
Like there's so much about that's in the text that the kind of informs the meta text that is so cool. And again, speaking to like this being the movie of the year.
Yeah. Check out our deep dive episode. We get into all of that. We get into like the implications of that theme you're talking about, you know, the who owns this art and, you know, what does it mean for the vampires to try to claim it? All of that. Lots of layers. Sinners.
I was born in 1601. I'm a vampire.
Oh, is that next?
I don't know if that's next.
Number 2 for me. Number 4 for Collin. Number 3 for Drew. And
number 3 for me.
It was number 5 for me.
Number 3 for Hunter. Number 5 for Drew. Yes. Okay. So we are at Collin's number 2.
My number 2 is Marty Supreme.
So is mine.
Save it. Because my number 2 is Marty Supreme.
So 2, 2, 2, and 3 for you.
Yes.
Wow. Let's go. Martin, excellent.
That's a consensus.
Here we go.
There.
We haven't. I haven't talked about this on the pod yet. It turns out it's a good film.
Mm-hmm. Pretty good,
and I enjoyed it.
Yeah, you turn out this Josh Safdie has a future somewhere.
It's so interesting because like, you know, the biggest critique that people have that is like more valid. I don't want to talk about the invalid critiques of like, oh, the character is not a good guy. This is just that like he does repeat a lot of, you know, sort of like the energy and motifs and themes from movie to movie. It's so, this poor guy is cursed to only make movies that feel like Goodfellas. You know, like that.
Like he's the best movie.
He's
ever.
Also like the only guy who can do that. That's like not Martin Scorsese. So I'm gonna take it how I get it with this. This is a fucking phenomenal movie. Timmy, I don't know how much higher he can soar before the wings start melting. But
so he's already kind of going back. He's becoming humble Timmy again now.
Well, let's just talk about the performance because you've put a lot of stock in this boy.
I have,
and we hyped it up so much for you.
It's like I got in on fucking Ethereum. I'm a fucking billionaire right now.
Like I don't know. I'm worried that like we may have overhyped it a little bit, but no, I also feel like
it's number 2 on Drew's list. So I don't think we overhyped it too much.
Well, it's just like you didn't say anything that I wasn't so ready for. I was like, yeah, it's going to be exactly that. And then I watched it and it didn't take away from it that I was expecting that. Like
it is the performance of the year. It's unreal.
Well, it's also just like, you know, if you're talking usage rate. Yeah. Like he is just, if you're talking the amount of words said by people in movies this year, he has to be number 1.
Yeah.
But in the context of like Hollywood, like modern Hollywood, you'd have to go back to like Jack Nicholson. You'd have to go back to Robert De Niro, Al Pacino. Like the energy that he is capturing here, it's not common. It doesn't just like fall off a truck for anybody. This is rare shit.
He's a special kid. Man.
I think it's kind of a mix of he has, and he's always had this, a lot of Pacino, but it's like Pacino mixed with Leo. Like we are getting this blend hybrid. There is no true 1-to-1 relationship for Timmy because we've never had a movie star that is quite this.
It's just so much range, from like, think about what we saw from him in Call Me by Your Name, which is like, for all the faults you might have with the movie, he's stunningly good in that movie. Collin, what did you think of this movie?
Back in like 2017, I watched Good Time and I was like, what the hell is this? This is awesome. This is great. And then Uncut Gems came out and I was like, that was good. I didn't love it, but it was good. And then the Safdie brothers split and there's this movie, Marty Supreme, that's announced, and it's about like a ping pong player. I'm like, that sounds like a terrible movie. Sounds awful. And then it had all this hype and everything, and I was like, I'm not going to watch this. I don't care. I don't care if it's Timothée Chalamet, Josh Safdie.
So far, I'm fucking mad at you.
Yeah.
Keep going.
And then it was getting all this praise, and I'm like, maybe I should check this out. Okay, I should.
Was it because you
check this out?
Was it deep down because you were such a big Smashing Machine head, and you're like, I think Benny has the juice here.
Didn't see it.
That's fine.
So I go and see it, and the song "Change" by Tears for Fears starts playing like during the logo, and I was like, "Oh shit!"
He got you with the music.
I was like, "This is for the fellas." The needle drops in this movie when The Perfect Kiss by New Order was playing. I was like, this is a masterpiece. Like, this is a fucking masterpiece.
It is.
Hey, backing up, the opening credit scene when you have
We're going to spoil Marty Supreme, by the way.
We can. This isn't a spoiler. We can kind of, if you want to demarcate
this reveal of this opening sequence is like the most transcendent moment.
Yeah, if you guys told me about that, I would have been mad because when I watched it, I was like, oh.
Okay, fine. So spoilers for Marty Supreme, I guess. When this happened, I watched this movie for a second time last night. And I was like, because I was like, how high do I want to put this movie? And I was like, oh no, I can't go higher. I can't go lower than 2. Because whenever there's the reveal of Timmy fucking Odessa Zion, and then cuts to a little sperm swimming about
while titles are coming on. Like this is like the opening credits,
and you hear Forever Young playing.
So good.
Best deployment of that since Napoleon Dynamite.
Yes, I also thought the same thing. This one little sperm kind of making its journey around to the point where it enters the egg and actually like ferments, and it becomes a choir of children singing Forever Young.
And then the egg is the ping pong ball.
Ascending.
Best movie of all time.
I'm on a
That's like
higher
the best
plane
title
existence.
sequence since like Psycho or Vertigo, like since Alfred Hitchcock.
Let's go.
I wanted to stand up and salute.
Yeah, it's just I've never been more ready. You know what I mean? He has many, many gifts as a filmmaker. Josh Safdie does. We can't take for granted how hard it is to capture momentum the way that he does, to have a movie feel like a never ending heart attack like this. Usually if a movie has this much frantic energy to it, it is usually chaos. Right. It is usually not watchable because it is too all over the place. This is focused chaos. That is what he's good at. It's such a special superpower. And he found the perfect collaborator with Timmy here, like in terms of having the focused pursuit, like the real life imitating art, imitating real life thing.
Dream big.
It all just comes together in such a cool way. The anachronism, like you're talking about with these music hits, it's a movie, it's set in the 50s. All the music is 80s, and the feel and like the technique, the shooting style of the movie is so modern. Yeah. So you're getting this like triple layered, like
collapsing.
You're getting thrown in so many different ways, and yet it all comes together. Like that, it doesn't make any sense how good he is at that.
It works so well. I mean, I think Josh Safdie is a genius. I think with this movie, he's proven. We said it when we talked about it. I think this is the best Safdie movie. I mean, I love all the Safdie movies. I probably put them all in that top tier, but this one feels like this evolution. I think partly because of the period piece of it all. I know Uncut Gems
feels like an epic.
Yes, very much. Uncut Gems was like technically a period piece a little bit because it was kind of flashing back a couple of years. But this is going back all the way to the 50s. The fact that this movie owns the period in such a way where it's not about World War II, but it's not about World War II. Like it is almost a full decade after the end of World War II.
It's like a sequel to Saving Private Ryan.
Exactly. Directly. These people
by like the shitheads who were like underage and didn't get called into combat during that time.
These people are dealing with the aftermath of the Holocaust, of the bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Like that is the texture of the movie, and it doesn't like push that in front of you. It's always in the background, and there are these moments where motherfucking Marty puts it right in front of you. What are some of the lines in here?
I'm thinking of specifically of the line of "I'm gonna do to him what Auschwitz couldn't."
Insane.
Where it's like
insane.
Jesus Christ. He's like, no, it's okay. I'm Jewish.
Or I'm about to drop another atomic bomb on them or something like that. Like he goes for it, and the fact that they are only 10 years
making fucking like 9/11 jokes, like while there's still like active kids in Afghanistan or something like that, where you're like, oh my God, can you fucking say that? Like what?
Exactly. There is this closeness to it that is exemplified beautifully in the honeybee sequence. One of the best things I've ever seen in any movie in my life. The whole left turn into this former Auschwitz detainee, Jewish concentration camp, talking about how he lathers himself in honeybee honey.
Yeah, in order to feed all his other campers. It is something that you have to have so much clout in order to get that made. Like, if you bring that to a meeting with your execs and you're like, this has no bearing at all on the rest of the movie, it might as well not be in the movie, but I really want it to be.
It sets up the idea of, I mean, the marketing of this movie has used the whole tagline of dream big, but I think in the context of the movie, it's more so this desperation, this idea of like survival mode of like, I want to be the best. I want to be the greatest because the alternative is extermination.
Yeah. And it's also, that's a real story that, that's just like a real story.
I think, I mean, to the point about like, not only that guy who plays,
the other ping pong player,
Kletsky, I know is the guy, Geza Roeg. Look, I will just say right now that this movie is why they are making the best casting Oscar thing. I would say the same thing for Anora last year, whenever it's not just doing the Wes Anderson thing of the, like, how many famous people can I get in here? And this is a movie that, of course, we do have Timothée Chalamet, Gwyneth Paltrow, like right there at the center. But
Mr. Wonderful,
the amount of kind of discoveries, like you get Odessa Zion, who made my ballot for the best supporting actresses. We'll talk about her momentarily, but the amount of true non-actors that are in this movie. Kevin O'Leary is Mr. Wonderful, Mr. We should annex Canada himself, who's like just he's playing totally towards the version of him that we all know him, like in real life.
That's why he was cast
as just a fucking asshole. And he's incredible in this movie.
He's
like
really
it's
good.
Not fair. How good he is.
Josh has sort of the ability to, like, he views casting in a way that other people don't, which is, it doesn't matter if it's an actor or not. If I've seen you do this type of thing, then I'm such a good director. I can recreate it. I can get you into the headspace where you're not thinking too hard.
He's like, I know that you and Tyler, the creator, are friends. I'm just going to put Tyler, the creator, in this movie as your friend. He has this is my favorite favorite casting that he has in here is the guy who went famous because he was in a viral Twitter video of a bunch of Knicks fans saying "fuck Trae Young." The guy who ends up becoming
the balls, the ping pong balls.
Yeah, the guy who makes the ping pong balls.
Yeah.
That's not an actor. That's just like a guy who's just like a big New York Knicks fan.
Yeah, but he just in that like 2 seconds, you just see something compelling about that kid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're like, oh, what a character that is. And he's like, I'm good enough. Like, I know how to weaponize you.
I'm gonna give you real meaty lines in my movie.
And that's also one that like that character isn't anything like that video. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like most of the time he's just giving people a type. He's making this kid fucking act and it works. It's really otherworldly how good he is at that. One big reason why is that a lot of the acting that you're doing in these movies is reaction based, which people who don't act are better at than if you were to ask them to like give a monologue and like shed a tear. That's when your non-actor would fall apart. It would not work at all. Josh knows that. Like he's not going to make people do that shit. He gives them roles where it's just they need to just feel natural and just go quick and go back and forth. People can do that if you help them get out of their own way.
Yeah.
And that's what he's good at. He's good at creating an environment where like the pressure doesn't get to these people. These people should be getting torn apart by the idea that they're in a fucking movie, you know? And it just it works every single time with him. Because again, like he just has superpowers. Like that's just a fucking ability he has, I guess. So it's not stunt casting. I don't like the idea, people calling it stunt casting to put these people in these roles. It's him knowing that he can get something out of these people. It's not a joke. You don't make a joke about it.
I recommend folks check out the podcast that stole our brand, the A24 podcast.
Those indie giants.
Yeah,
well, they changed their color.
They backed
scheme
off.
A little bit.
Yeah, the lawsuit scared them.
The cease and desist. Yeah.
Their latest episode is Safdie and Sean Baker talking about Marty Supreme, and Sean Baker has put a lot of non-actors in his movies. That's something that they have in common.
Honora feels pretty Safdie.
Yeah. Yes. Very much so.
Very New York movies. So like this is a movie that, again, to the point about like kind of the period piece of it and this feeling like a World War II movie. This is such a New York movie and like the most like pure way where it's just like, you just see a bunch of people that are just trying to hustle and just like trying to like live and make whatever their version of the American dream is. It's just like it's dream big, man. It's just like you have all of these versions. And even if you do have like a moment like later on in the movie where you have Marty telling the Rachel character like I'm meant for great things and you aren't. Everybody kind of feels that way, that like this pure idea of New York, like distilled down to its rawest form.
But from the filmmaking side of it, the populating of the background actors and all of that, the creating that world, that texture of it. What Safdie talks about in that podcast is that he puts people in these scenes that not only are they not actors, but like they're not even close to being actors. Like I think a lot of times, so many of the movies that we watch are this feedback loop of casting rooms, of Jay Kellys that are meant for greatness, that are just like sucked up into this wormhole of perfection, right? You are destined to be the guy. And what Safdie does is he I don't know if it's in the A24, in one of the interviews that he's done, he talks about the guy that he has opened the safe that gets robbed at the beginning. He made up a whole backstory for that guy being this horse trainer. So he went out and got a real horse trainer to be that guy. And so that happens so much in this movie.
He found a horse trainer with the most like Coen Brothers movie face that you could possibly find.
It happens so much in this movie. And he talks about how, in a couple scenes, he just got the guys that built the set. Shout out to Jack Fisk, who's the legendary production designer on this thing. So whoever are the guys that he hires to build some of these sets, he just puts them in the background because they look right. Safdie talks about how I think they cast every single face, over 2,000 people in this movie. That's not something that's usually done. When you do extras, you just take, especially on a smaller movie, you just take whoever you can get.
Yeah.
You're not looking at every single person and approving them.
No, yeah. You go to agency and you're like, hey, I need X amount of people. Like,
get them in here, dress them up.
Rough demographic of what they need to look like. Like, I don't care. No, it doesn't matter. Yeah, he cares.
The biggest payoff for me.
I think that is something that, like, it's one of those things that you can overlook it because it's just, I think Josh's explanation that he's given in the past is like, it fully takes him out whenever he sees somebody who like does not look of the period. It takes him out of it completely. But then, like, if you're somebody who like knows something, it's such like a fun thing to see if you are just like a fan watching it. Like for me, it was seeing the Globetrotters come out. It was seeing Tracy McGrady and Kemba Walker out there. I was like, yo, what the fuck is Tracy McGrady and Kemba Walker, the Harlem Globetrotters right now? Or it's like, is that David Mamet, who's the stage director right now for this like fake play that Gwyneth Paltrow's in?
Look like a bad play.
Paltrow,
the reviews.
Paltrow is out of this world. It's really easy to forget how good of an actress she is because she often forgets or doesn't.
She hasn't worked.
Well, she just doesn't. Yeah, she just doesn't care to do it very often.
Yeah. When's the last time Paltrow's been this good in a movie?
Hey, man.
2008. Shallow Hal.
Probably
Avengers Infinity War.
I think it's Shallow Hal. Yeah, that's the last time she was. Really
Does she remember being in that one? Because she doesn't remember any of her Marvel work. So
I remember Shallow Hal. I remember it.
No, yeah, she is she's absolutely perfect. Again and again, there's like a bit of the like, art imitating life, imitating art thing where like she's playing
hey man, she was
stepped away from acting and is coming back.
She was in Late Night with Conan O'Brien 10th anniversary special.
That was big. She was great in that.
Gwyneth Paltrow, similar to her character, Kate Stone, being funded instead of by a pen tycoon, it's by the singer of Coldplay.
Mm-hmm. Well, and also, I mean, she's like her own billionaire,
and she's making Goop.
Goop is like so profitable.
Yeah,
where would we be without pens?
I use Goop.
Really?
You're a Goop boy?
What's the review?
I apply it every day. Face moisturizer, vagina candle.
Vagina candle.
Yeah, that's a thing. She's like, I have a candle that smells
like pussy.
Vagina.
It like her vagina specifically.
Yeah, her. Yeah, specifically. Like,
and why would I want that smell?
So you
just listen, brother. If you know, if you know, you know.
Light it up.
It stinks.
I bet Tenny has one. It was gifted.
Yeah. He has to light it. The scene. Everything we were talking about, like the faces of this movie, the scene that is the biggest payoff for me is the bowling alley, hustling, the bowling alley ping pong game.
Mm-hmm. It's a great homage to the Pool Sharks episode of Drake and Josh.
Yes.
I was thinking the exact same thing when I was watching it in theaters.
Well, when we went to see this the first time, we all said Drake and Josh walking out of the roller coaster meme where their heads are like blown off, their hair is standing up. That's literally how we all felt.
There also is a Drake and Josh where they play ping pong and it looks like surprisingly good. And it's the same CG type thing as this.
Well, I don't think this is all this. I don't think this is all CG. I'm sure there is CG, but
there's plenty of CG.
Timmy practiced for like 8 years.
Yeah.
He became a ping pong player. They've been working on this movie for so long.
I have heard like Timmy's talked about before about he's told some stories about how he would be like practicing playing ping pong on the set of Doom Part 2, and he would get like really into it with like the stagehands to the point where he's like grunting and like doing the Marty noises, but he's just playing against like guys in whatever country they're filming Dune in.
Some of the shots in this thing of the wide shots, especially of them going back and forth. Are unbelievable. The first watch, I had a hard time picking like a favorite scene. The hustling was kind of the closest thing that I could pinpoint of like, okay, everything from the bathtub falling to after the hustling in the gas station with the fire. Like that was kind of my favorite sequence in the movie because that's when you feel like you're kind of levitating. Second watch, it's the end. It's everything from the paddle slap on the ass until crying at the baby. Like literally that entire, what is that, 45 minutes of movie? I have no idea.
Everything just folds into each other.
It's insane.
It just moves, man. It's such an interesting structure too, because the movie starts on such like a high sort of like stakes note of his big trip abroad, and then he comes back home and has to like just reckon with reality for most of the rest of the movie.
I did want to mention, like, whenever we're talking about the best sequences, it's another extended sequence, but it's from I guess it's the semifinal match that you have of him. Like, you see him like playing a little bit and like having fun and whatever. And then you see him just like with his boy, and they're just like, oh, let's have fun this match. That one into or maybe it's I'm mixing it up a little bit, but it's the first match that you see him actually playing ping pong. Then you get him calling Gwyneth Paltrow on the phone. You get that whole exchange together that you're having, throwing the apple.
So good.
Then into the semifinal match, or then to the that goes into the dinner sequence where you have the exchange about the honey, to Kay coming over because he keeps like fucking like wooing her with his fucking charm, that like he is irresistible in this movie. And like, I think that this is one of those movies that is I know we've harped on it a lot, but it's just a true testament to movie stardom, man. Where like, I talked about this a lot with Guy after we saw this, because she has been somebody who is not a Timmy hater, but somebody who like didn't really get it as much. And this is one where you're like, yeah, I get it, man.
He's such
a shit. He's such a shit in this movie that you just want to fucking hate him. But then he like kind of smiles at you, or he just like kind of like says like something in your way, and he fucking ropes you in. He's so like,
a big part is that he's just funny.
He's funny, but he's so charismatic. It's not like that he's hot or anything like that. It's just that he has this deep charisma that you can't teach. You either have it or you don't.
Well, and we're all also, it plays on the fact that we all are just naturally attracted to the idea of someone having such a sure pursuit, someone being so sure of what they're after. We're all like, damn, I wish things could be so simple in my head, in terms of like coming to like Timmy, I feel like I'm like the others in Pluribus. I'm like, if you could just know how good this feels to love him.
Collin, I'm curious to
we're working on getting you to our side.
Well, come on. It feels so much better over here.
I just need Gaia's stem cells. And
to the point of like rooting for Marty, how do you feel about like where the movie wraps up this whole journey that he's riding on? Like, this is a sports movie after all, right? And in a traditional sports movie, you are rooting for our hero to win the big sports match at the end. And I think in this movie, it's so much more complicated because of all the things we see in the middle chunk, right? Everything with the guy that they're trying to get the dog after, and there's the shootout and everything, and there's the lying and the cheating and the stealing. So by the time you get to this match, it really isn't a traditional sports movie. Do you feel like you are in that mode of like, I want this guy to win? Like, how do you feel about this stretch?
Yeah, I'm the person who's like rooting, just like, yeah, like I was looking forward to this ping pong match so much. Like, finally.
You wanted a meat and potatoes ping pong movie, and you were upset.
Yeah. Look, I'm an adult. I can understand Marty Supreme. I feel like I have better media literacy than bots on social media. It was satisfying because it's like he gets what he wants, and as he's getting it, he realizes that it's completely meaningless. Yeah. It means nothing. And there's that line where he's like, it doesn't even enter my consciousness. And then when he finally gets what he wants with this like rematch, and he's like hyping up the crowd, like, no, Japan, you want the real deal. It's like a last ditch effort to achieve this greatness. And then he gets it and he's like, well, damn, like that was actually kind of pathetic. And then the movie kind of slows down, and it exits his consciousness, and that's when he gets to the hospital. He gets to his child, and the movie ends. And it wraps up from the beginning with the sperm and the egg and everything. It ties up
little baby.
Neatly. Yeah, it's about having a kid.
How do you read the very end? Like, do you feel like he has actually changed? Like he has learned to be better, to be less selfish, to be more of a sort of a giving person to the people in his life?
I don't think he's going to be like this amazing person, but I think that phase of his life has ended because I feel like he had this need of like, I got to do something fucking crazy. I'm about to have a kid. I gotta do it. I gotta fucking do it. And then he does it. And then it's like, okay, that's over.
Yeah.
Now. And then it's the end of the movie. It's all done.
So he'll be a good father. He'll be around to raise little Howie uncut gems.
He'll raise him, be a good dad. That's questionable, but he'll be there. Sure.
I think I disagree a little bit on that. Just because I think that this is a movie. I think that it really played. I got this more on my rewatch. I think that the movie the whole time, and there's so much that's happening. There's so much action that is happening and so many threads that are kind of being unspooled and you're waiting for them to all tie together here that you kind of miss the overarching plot that we have here of the paternal aspect of him, like eventually becoming a dad. I think that especially on rewatch, it's like this movie is like it's focused on finding purpose and finding this drive in your life. And for Marty, he's a guy in his 20s. And right now he's just like, it's table tennis. Like that is my drive. That's what I was put here on earth to do. But there's always this kind of this lingering thing in the background of like this, like, well, you got a kid. Like you're going to have to fucking grow up. You're going to have to find a new purpose here. And he can't really get over that hump until we have that moment that he does have the elation, the jubilation of winning this tournament. But I think that's like, it is profound that it's not like he does the tournament and then he's just like, all right, I'm going to re-enroll next year whenever it happens. Like he kind of knows in that moment. I think the moment that he makes the decision of like I'm going to go for it. I'm going to try to win here. That is him making a conscious decision of being like, this is going to be the last. This is the last table tennis match.
Yeah.
This is the
end. This will fully alienate me from all professional table tennis.
Like there's no coming back from this moment. All I can do is fucking give it my absolute all, try to go out on the highest of highs right here, like the sports high moment. And then I need to find new purpose in my life. I need to find new meaning. And that meaning comes the moment that he lays eyes on his kid. And again, shout out to Timmy.
Tears for Fears.
Shout out to Timmy. Yeah, you hear Tears for Fears going full circle to that to how the movie starts, but like that look that he gives his child whenever he sees it is like this is the reason why I'm here on earth. Like this is the reason why I should live at this point is because I have this new thing. And I think that one of the things that really drives home that I've learned in the last couple of days here is the way that the movie was originally constructed. Do you guys know about this? So originally,
the alternate ending?
Well, it's not an alternate ending. It's
flash forward.
It's an alternate construction of the movie. The movie was supposed to start at a Tears for Fears concert in the 80s with him, his son, and his granddaughter. And he was basically going
Adam
to start
Sandler
with like
it
was going to start with like let me tell you something about where you came from, son. And then him like kind of recounting the story. That's the explanation for why there is an 80s score in this 50s story sense. Is like it's him in the 80s describing like the events of him growing up and like the birth of his child to his son. And so I think that is kind of that learning that definitely I think confirmed some of my feelings, especially upon a rewatch about this movie, where this is about, shifting at what you find meaning in. We all have to find meaning at something in this life, and what that meaning might be might change throughout the days. But we all have to be great at something.
And it is, it's playing to the bigger crowd by just sort of playing off of like what is a universal human experience. If you know any parent, they'll be like, oh yeah, like the second you look at your child, like
it all changes.
Which none of us have experienced.
Yeah.
Let's make that very clear.
Also, by the way, great cut that they didn't have this starting at a Tears for Fears concert and then being like, let me tell you something about your life, kid.
Well, Collin, I have looked at my Blu-ray collection, and so I can tell you about that.
It just like
putting them on the shelves.
Yeah, it is nice.
Just being like, I've watched all these movies.
I think
I've seen these.
Like, I don't think it's a matter of him just like fully shifting his purpose to the child.
Where I'm at.
I don't think that's true at all. Like like if you're like a fucking asshole that's like really obsessive with stuff and is like not hard to get along with, he's always going to be like an asshole.
Exactly.
But it's growth in the form of realizing that there might be there might be other people that are worth like having in your life for things other than using.
Especially as he's probably, at least we're assuming, intelligent enough to understand that he's been borderline like abusing his baby mama this whole movie. Like just ignoring her, setting her off to the side, getting her shot. Like, come on, dude.
Well, he didn't know that she was going to go meet. Yeah. She didn't know that she was, she gets shot. Yeah, she does get shot by Penn Teller. You're right.
My read on the very end of this movie, I don't want to say that he is going to immediately revert back to table tennis, but I do think that he is going to revert back to something. And maybe it's not being the greatest table tennis player in the world, but it's something. He is going to always
he's always going to be
back
this guy, but it's just a matter of downshifting. He's not going to like fully be a psycho that alienates every human on earth.
It might be
for
something
the rest of his life now. Like that's the growth.
It might,
and maybe we should all be like Marty. One way or another.
I think that it's good to kind of aim for greatness in whatever you're doing.
But
even if whatever that greatness is might shift throughout your life.
But I think that part of the point of this movie is to show the negative ripple effects of that framework, of that mindset. This is a guy who is causing so much havoc and destruction to everybody in his life. This movie is not trying to sell you on this idea that the dichotomy between the actual text of the movie and the marketing of the movie is fascinating.
It's it's so different.
Timmy is going balls to the wall with this dream big.
Yeah, it's about how it's good to dream big
to Tom Brady and fucking all these people that are the best athletes in the world, Michael Phelps, everybody. And then you watch the movie and you're like, wait a second. If you live your life that way, you will hurt everybody.
Yeah, it's like if Wolf of Wall Street, dream big. Like it's not.
But I do think
it's so fascinating to me. And when you get to the end, when you get to the kid, I think that what the movie is trying to say is that there are more things in life bigger than yourself, and you don't have to live your life by yourself. But Marty, the person, doesn't necessarily get that. He is being overwhelmed. He is looking at something that is bigger than himself, and he doesn't know how to process it. That's what the crying is. That's what the tears are. That's my read of it. It is a reaction. He's not necessarily having an epiphany. He is having a moment outside of his own understanding, and it is overwhelming. And tomorrow he will go back to hustling, maybe not at table tennis, maybe at the shoe store. Yeah, and he'll use the money at the shoe store to pay for the kids' food.
Exactly. He'll always be a shit, but it represents just the very fact that he even goes to see the baby represents an amount of growth.
And sit.
Yeah. I don't view this movie. I don't view it maybe quite as negative of a look at the aspiring to greatness as you do. Like, this movie shares a lot more DNA with something like Whiplash to me, which is like, what's
the ending of fucking Whiplash?
You're gonna run some people over, but like, if you want to be great, then that's kind of the cost of greatness. And I don't necessarily view that as a negative.
Great, but
Marty is great. Like,
he's not. He doesn't win. He's out of the tournament.
He's the number 2 player in the world. He's great.
Not.
I still think like he's 29 and he's the number 2 in the world. They don't let him
into the tournament.
It's definitely not a movie about how it's like good, all the stuff he does.
It's not good, but I'm
worth it at all. In fact, like I mean, this is like a better send off than the previous Safdie protagonist. Like it could be a lot worse. But he ultimately, in his pursuit of greatness, he actually stops himself from being able to truly achieve it because of how he goes about it so poorly.
Presumably he will grow up to raise this
his
kid.
actual, like, his pursuit isn't just to be the best in the world. It's to like become a household name. And he actively ruins any chance he has of becoming that or making ping pong something big. The entire professional community excommunicates him because of how poorly he goes about it.
Well, I think I do think that to the point about like what greatness is, I think that that's almost like more of the thing of what is greatness to Marty, because to your point, it's not being the number one player in the world. It is that, and I think a case in point of this is his relationship with the Gwyneth Paltrow character is that like he isn't into her because she's hot. He's into her because she is a star. And whenever she walked into the room, everybody recognized her and everybody was like, oh my God, that's Kay Stone. She used to be huge. She used to be a movie star. And they stopped paying attention to him. And I think
Also
that
money.
That is what he wants, is that he wants, I think even more than money, he wants fame.
He wants the necklace.
He wants adoration.
He doesn't know the necklace
and
exists,
here's the thing,
but he's after it.
To tie this back to being to being a parent, I think that he looks the child in the eyes and he's like, I am this kid's world now. Like, I don't need the adoration and approval of the world because I can just be here and get the adoration and approval from this child.
Yeah, I think it's
not saying that he's going to be the world's greatest dad, because that kind of sentiment is not a healthy relationship to bring to parenthood. But I think that in his mind, that is where the shift is happening, where he is saying like, I can now be the best at this.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, I think the truth is somewhere between those two things. I think those are both valid reads. It's just, I think it's just a matter of like, he dreams big and that's great, but the way he goes about it, like, actively prevents him from getting anything. When he gets home, he might think somewhere that, oh, he still has a chance to accomplish what he wants, but like he never, ever, ever will, like, because of what he did in trying to accomplish it. He fails. He becomes the best ping pong player. That wasn't his goal, really. You know what I mean? That was a piece of it, but like he fails at the bigger goal. And I think that's a really interesting piece of the movie, because even fucking Howie accomplishes what he wants to accomplish.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
Pop. Collin, jump in here. Any other thoughts on Marty before we move on?
I really love the scene where the bathtub fell through, because that could just be like, oh, that was random and funny. But no, like Terminator music kicks in and he's crushed. What's his name?
Abel Ferrara. Yeah. The director.
So good.
And
What
the
a highlight.
fucking dog. And the fucking dog. And it's like a nightmare. And I was like, this is incredible.
There's a stretch of this movie where you just want the dog to be okay. You're just so invested.
I thought the dog like burned up and died during that gas station fight, but they explicitly show the dog running, and it's like, oh, no, the dog's okay.
Yeah. Collin, do you aspire to be Marty Supreme in your own life? Like, did you view him as more of a character that we should all look up to, or?
Yeah, actually, I had an epiphany while you guys were talking about when Marty looks at his kid. Has your dad ever been like, oh yeah, during this, you weren't even a twinkle in my eye?
Yeah.
Like they love to say that. And I think that's what this movie is ultimately about.
Oh my God.
Who your father, who your parents were before they were a twinkle in your eye and you're just swimming.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
You're just going to the
living in your dad's ball sack.
Well, and even though we ditched the original framing device, which I agree would suck, I don't want to see that, but the movie still does feel like that. Like it feels like it's like an unreliable narrator telling you like how
used to be the best ping pong
it's like how
player
he
in the
remembers
world.
shit going
Third
down.
act is a lot of like wish casting that you could just view that whole sequence as like, this did not happen.
Yeah.
You did not go to Japan and beat the best player in the world.
Exactly. But I like how the movie does like take the time to point out that like being this manic and this inconsiderate, like even the little things, like it almost like goes against how movies work, because so much of the movie, what we're watching is him just trying to get over to Japan, because he's like, once I get there, I can obviously play in the tournament. And then he gets there and they're like, wait, what? No, we're not part of, Like, we didn't know that was your plot, man. Like, we don't want you here.
I love all the shots of all the sad Japanese people when they know that he's going to win.
It's great.
It's like,
and then the VAs are just like,
all the American guys, like, again, a sequel to Saving Private Ryan. Like, this movie is in the wake of real life events of us dropping a fucking nuke, 2 nukes on these people, and they just have their little ping pong guy that they think is going to win, and they can't even have that.
So
you chanted USA in the theater at that point, right?
I love the vampire,
Dude, amazing.
There,
I was born in 1601.
So I've heard that I've heard that was potentially going to be expanded upon. I don't know how true that is. That like they were going to.
Yeah, Shafty said that that it would loop back to the concert, and then he would pop up at the concert and bite him in the neck, and they would cut to credits.
That's so funny. That rocks so hard.
That I'm glad they didn't do that.
I think it's so perfect to where like you can just read it as like this is just like a crazy guy trying to scare this kid.
I believe it,
but I totally believe it.
The
fact that he brings up a specific year, it's like well that's quite a detail.
Apparently,
trying to scare
came
him
up with that.
Wow.
Kevin O'Leary did?
That's what Safdie said.
Kevin O'Leary's going to try to
God damn it.
write a screenplay, and it's going to suck so bad.
He's going to write The Bye Bye Man too.
He's the most evil human on fucking earth.
One other thing that we got to mention, we shouted out a little bit, but Daniel Patton's score. This is the score of the year.
Good,
Mr. 106 Point Never, creator of Vaporwave. There's like a point that like, God, I wish that I could remember the exact moment, but they're using almost like frog rivets as part of the score that's happening here. And every time that I hear it, like kind of makes me giggle because I cannot believe that they're getting away with this score. It is, I can't imagine this movie without this score, which is kind of one of the best pieces of praise that I can ever give to any kind of film score. So incredible shot.
Absolute.
Marty Supreme.
Great film.
Dream Big. My number 3, Collin's 2, Drew's 2, Hunter's 2. We have 2 movies to talk about left. Let's talk about Collin's number 1 first.
My number 1 movie of the year. I've seen it 3 times. I was in the bag for this. I was like, this better be fucking good. Like, I love everything about this. It was described as Magnolia as a horror film. And I was like, that's the greatest idea anyone's ever had in the last like 25 years.
It's like if I was trying to get you off, I'd say that.
Magnolia is a horror film.
Collin movie.
That is Zach Kreger's Weapons, his sophomore follow-up to Barbarian, which is a movie that I watched 3 times. As well as Weapons. I saw it in theaters and I was like, that was okay. It was kind of stupid, but
dirty titty.
I was like, I don't know. It was kind of dumb, and then I watched it again and I had the same experience. I was like, it's pretty good, but God, it's just fucking like, it's just kind of dumb in the end. And then the third time, it was actually when I was at an Airbnb for Ernest and Lee's wedding.
Hell yeah.
I was like,
Justin Long was there.
Let's fire up Barbarian and the Airbnb. And I was like, damn, this is a really well-written movie.
Was there a basement at that Airbnb?
Yeah, probably.
A secret door that wouldn't open.
Probably.
That movie is like a perfect freshman effort to me because it has quite a simplicity to it. And I think it definitely leaves some stuff on the bone, as an effort, but like there are turns and there are moments in there where you're like, this guy's got some sauce to him. Like you know what I mean? He's got vision. It's an original thing. And he has ability to back it up. And even saying that, like, I did not think this would be this fucking good. Like, holy shit, this is good.
So how many times have we had a movie where it pitches like this question and it's like, you got to go see the movie to find out what the question
what
is.
Happened to the kids?
Right. That's my favorite type of movie, but rarely are they ever this satisfying and this good. So the pitch of the movie is all the children in this classroom disappear, and we have Josh Brolin at the very beginning shouting, "Why was it just her classroom? Why only hers?" And we fucking get that. We get that in an extremely satisfying way. There's no loose ends except for whoever the hell Aunt Gladys is, which is even answered in the movie itself when she's talking to the principal and talking about, oh, they're sick with consumption. It's like, yeah, she's like a witch from like hundreds of years ago or whatever.
I'm a fucking vampire. Yeah, exactly. And in the way that, you know, things are sort of like spread across the movie, that things are laid out, when it begins, you just kind of assume it's going to be a movie mostly about Julia Garner, because why her classroom? And she's the first, you know, she's the first little chapter, you know, she's the person we're following. But yeah, the perspective switches are what could have gone way wrong. It's such like a swing. It's such a, it could either feel trite and like a little bit too try hard and corny, or it could just, could just have diminishing returns, and it doesn't have diminishing returns. Every time it switches, you're like, oh yeah, I want to see it from this guy's perspective.
Well, what Kreger does that I think is genius is that he doesn't make Julia Garner sympathetic.
No,
she's kind of a bitch. She
immediately, yeah. After like 5 minutes, that's the first surprising thing is you're like, oh, she stinks.
Yeah,
like she's
like going to the liquor store and like
she's not a great teacher.
Yeah,
Alden Ehrenreich. He's like this cop, but he fucking hates his job. He hates his wife. He hates his father.
Terrible cop.
Like,
yeah.
Yeah. He hates it. And like, he's so like nervous and anxious about like everything he has to do. Like it's just so riveting. It's so rewarding on a rewatch. If you haven't rewatched it yet and you're thinking, okay, it's not going to live up because I know what the reveal is. I found myself anticipating each perspective shift, and it was so satisfying.
It's also it's also so satisfying to show people, you know, just like be like, oh, guess who's coming next, you know?
Yeah.
What did you guys think of Weapons?
I mean, I love this movie. It feels bad putting it, I think, at number 6 on my list, because this is, you know, we're talking about a movie that has every right to be top 3, number 1 of the year. I love Zach Kreger. I loved him for years, since Whitest Boys You Know. Like seeing his evolution as just becoming like the next voice of horror is really cool. Really fascinated to see what he does with the Resident Evil movie this year. Collin, I know that you are even more invested than I am.
That is like the greatest news I've ever heard in my entire life, is that he's making a Resident Evil movie.
It better be good.
I do think that, to the point about just the overall cast of this movie, I think that is the most like make or break of any movie that I have seen this year, where it's like the movie would completely fall apart. Let's put Amy Madigan to the side here, because I actually do think that she's a lock at this point for a nomination, and
she possibly
is the front runner to win, which is kind of insane. But I do think that like she is a character that like you need to have that performance and that character work, or else the entire movie can kind of fall apart. My favorite chapter of the movie, it's funny, we just got done talking about a Safdie movie, but is the most Safdie-esque of these, is our boy Austin Abrams, James.
Yeah, incredible.
So good.
He gets the WBAM award for the I Can Fix Him Boy of the Year. That it's just the like, I'm ready to throw my life away for this junky piece of shit. Yeah, I'm phobic.
It really is just like every person that we follow is just pitch perfect. You're right. Like
but it like rides the screenplay. Also is the other thing where it just rides this perfect line between horror and comedy, where like just see the moment that even on a rewatch made me fucking jump is during the Josh Brolin sequence when there is the flash. It's a jump scare, but it's a very well executed jump scare that is very effective and works. And then you just have Josh Brolin going, "What the fuck?"
And you don't even know what you're looking at. The first time you watch it, you're like, "What the hell is that? That's Amy Madigan?
Yeah.
What the fuck?"
Incredible.
I had a train of thought and I lost it. Do you guys have any other?
Was it about James the junkie?
Damn, I
was it about the cop? It. I wanted to talk about Mr. Ben Wong, Benedict Wong, who gets the scene where he just sprints possessed. Also backing up when he is at his house with the 7 hot dogs with his husband.
Don't forget the carrots and the ranch. I was more appetized by the carrots and the ranch than the hot dogs.
Yeah.
7 hot dogs.
And the witch Gladys comes to possess. That whole sequence, I think, is a great little turn in the movie.
That's the first time that
everything starts to tighten.
It's the first time that you actually get to see the witchcraft happening.
Yeah. No, I love this movie. I think on the rewatch, like you said, it plays so well. You're anticipating the reveal. I was very curious about how it would play on the rewatch, given the whole mystery aspect of it. But when you know what's coming, I was just so ready for that final stretch of when you actually get this confrontation in the house, the whole chapter with the kid. Great kid, by the way, Alex, Carrie Christopher.
Again, that's some casting that goes wrong 90% of the time.
Yeah.
And especially when we have to follow just him.
Everything collapses on that storyline. Everything comes to a head. Shout out Whitmer Thomas, who is also in Friendship. I don't know if we mentioned. That's your boy playing the dad. And yeah, the whole sort of catharsis of the mystery being unraveled, and then, you know, how is this all going to resolve? And the fact that the choice of Kreger to be like, okay, not only are we going to get this flip of everything turning on the witch, but all the kids are going to run out of the basement. Spoilers for Weapons. Sorry if you haven't seen it. Run out of the basement, chase the witch. Long shots of the kids chasing her. We're gonna follow
whole
the
neighborhood. Whole neighborhood.
Very tactile, like breaking windows, breaking through doors, breaking down fences just to chase her.
And
insane.
He's talked about how like that was all like a mid-production decision.
That happened like on the day of, where they're like, I think it'd be really funny for them to run through an entire house, and they're like, fuck, okay, I guess Zach wants us to build a set of an entire house for them to run through.
And then they get her and they rip her apart.
Yeah, by her jaw.
It's gruesome. It's gruesome and hilarious, gory, graphic.
This
good.
So satisfying.
This
and it ends the curse too. It's the happy ending. You hear the bell when she gets her tendons ripped.
We talked a lot when we on our episode about Weapons, about how cleanly defined all the magic is in this movie. How simple, how simple it is. How you understand.
Not overly explained.
It's not explained. It's visually explained. You know what I mean? Like he gives you a step by step just by watching. And you don't need to know anything other than that. You get it, and then you get, just like you get it, you're like, oh, that's why the kid gets it too. Like that's how he understands it and is able to stop this. It's all just so it's like simplest possible route to like show something so big and so complicated. You know, it's so coherent. He so effortlessly overlaps all these stories the perfect amount, you know, where like the end of one arc coincides with the beginning of the next one. It works so well. It carries momentum so well. It builds.
Filling in gaps, you know, like when you finally get to the Alden Ehrenreich act and you're filling in the gaps of the Julia Gardner act, like the way it all clicks together, so satisfying. Shout out Toby Huss,
our guy,
coming in as the
I'm giving you shit.
as the what is he, the chief or whatever?
Yeah.
His father-in-law.
Horrible police department. They're doing such a bad job.
Yeah, a whole classroom is missing, and they're just,
I know. Well, I mean, that also does, like, you know, we also talked a lot on our episode about the bigger, deeper themes that you can,
the allegorical
you
stuff.
can enjoy the movie with or without engaging with them. But yeah, the idea of this is about, you know, the older generation sucking the younger generation dry, literally and figuratively.
The Bidens and the Trumps.
And, you know, and then the school shooting angle of it all. And, you know,
I wonder what that big assault rifle is floating above the house.
Well, and how that plays pretty directly into like how unproductive the law enforcement is in figuring anything out. You know what I mean? Like that's like you could call it an excuse, but I think it makes a lot of sense that, yeah, they're not helping. Like they suck at this. They're not equipped to deal with something like this, and they don't care to. It all, I don't know. It's really cool for a movie to work with or without such clearly defined themes, with, you know, that so much depth, and yet it works without it also. Like that, I don't know. It's just such like a cut and dry, great film.
Yeah.
There's really no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's a risky type of movie for me to like put on for my family. They don't watch this type of stuff, and I put it on for them just because I was like, I think it's just so good that it's gonna work, and it did. They loved it. They were screaming, you know what I mean? Like particularly the ripping of her jaw apart. They were like, Drew, stop! Like turn it off. And then at the end, they were like, wow, that was really good.
Now the Amy Madigan of it all, I think that if she does end up getting all the way across the finish line, it'll probably be because of the scene where she is not playing up the Gladys character, where she is just this witch.
Yeah, whenever she's talking to the kid in the house, and
that's what seals it. That's what gets you into that deeper core of, it's not just menace, it's like this manipulative evil.
Yeah, it's way less of a cartoon character than what we've seen of her. Dressed down, she looks really scary. With all respect to old people who are sick.
Right.
Hey, that is Ed Harris's wife of over 40 years.
That's awesome.
And they're happy.
She was in Field of Dreams.
She was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great pick, Collin. Weapons.
Love this movie.
Your number one movie of 2025.
I'll say maybe it doesn't have the gravitas of One Battle After Another or Marty Supreme, but this is just the type of movie that I want every year. And it actually lived up to the questions that it raised in its marketing.
It's worthy.
Think of that, J.J. Abrams. Cloverfields and you're lost.
Get him.
No, Collin, I think
go for Ernest fucking Thoreau.
This is a great. This is a
Force Awakens.
Yeah.
Your Snokes.
Your Super 8s.
Your Star Treks Into Darkness. This is a wonderful pick to have here. I love this movie. This is another movie that it's timeless in many ways. Like it is going to age like absolute fine wine. This is another movie that the 4K has been ordered. It's currently on back order, so I'm waiting a couple weeks for it to come in, but it's coming.
Shout out to the running with the arms outstretched with George Harrison.
Triangle. Yeah. Incredible music cue.
Hunter, I was gonna say I don't have the 4K, just the Blu-ray.
Collin, you
can go to Walmart and buy a fucking 4K of Together, but not Weapons. Weapons is DVD and Blu-ray only. This is fucking bullshit.
Together?
Did you guys watch Together?
No, just get on Groove, baby. Just
absolutely not watching Together with Dave Franco and whoever.
Alison Brie? Yeah.
Yeah. Awful.
Is that your number one?
Number one, baby. We all three of us match for the first time in many years.
Ever?
Wait, we all have Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning? That's
first
crazy.
time since Parasite? Maybe?
Parasite. I think Parasite was the last time.
But before you continue, my top three, they were all like 10 out of 10s, like interchangeable. Like,
sure. Yeah.
All like
5 stars.
All masterpieces. The only reason I have your guys is number one at number 3 is for a very specific reason, but
let's get into it.
Interesting.
One Battle After Another.
I do think it's a little bit apt that this is the first time that we've all shared a number one since Parasite, because I think this is the best movie since Parasite.
It's up there for sure.
I think this is the best movie of the 2020s.
It's one of the first movies since then, and just like one of a handful in my lifetime that I watched and I was like, oh yeah, all time classic.
Yeah.
Like it's got all the stuff.
We all knew it was going to be that going into it.
I hoped.
Well, I think in many ways I kind of already did know. We saw this movie.
A PTA movie with Leo. It's an action movie.
I mean, look, the early reviews of this movie were like an unobtainable high. Like they were just like, this is the greatest film. This is the Citizen Kane of our time. Like there was just like all of the plaudits that were being lauded toward this movie that I had a little bit of like fear going in, but it was kind of like, Paul Thomas Anderson has never let me down. I'm not going to like expect it to happen now. And then it was just like, well, he did it. I was like, my expectations were here and he hit it or even surpassed it in many ways.
From a movie watching perspective, from an entertainment value perspective, it has everything you want. It has the highs, it has the thrills, it has the
humor.
Yeah, the performances. Every single person brought it. Leo, Benicio, Sean Penn, fucking Tiana, Regina, Chase Infinity, like the whole cast is here.
She's my favorite credit card.
It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. To me, I think what seals the deal as not just number one, but like all timer is it's, like we talked about with Eddington, it's a reflection of the moment. Paul Thomas Anderson chose to adapt Vineland, a book that's set in the 80s that is about 1960s revolutionaries being washed out in Reagan's America, and extrapolate everything to the 2020s. What a genius idea. It is phenomenal what he did here. And it just soars beyond everything else to me.
It's also been that, particular angle of it has been swept up in another round of fucking, of stupid discourse with awards season coming because largely just because like if, when you're depicting, a revolutionary movement, a movement that, is rooted a lot in racial issues, the specifics of that movement are going to be questioned. Like what in particular are you showing? And I think the reason that this movie soars so far above an Eddington to me is because it has that element, it has the mirror, but it's a movie about its story.
Yeah.
More
it's characters.
Yeah. It's not just trying to show you like what's going on. It's trying to give you that and color the movie that way and like direct its entire, direction through that. But it's about people.
Take the scene in the middle when Bob parts ways with Benicio and he's running on the rooftops. Another director would choose to do a sweeping shot of all the action that's happening at the ground level with all these protesters clashing with these police. He never does that. He keeps you with Bob the whole time, and you get the spillover, the beautiful spillover of the lights and the fog and everything and the sounds. But the fact that he never cuts away, that he never does like the Michael Bay drone shot, which I love. I would love a Michael Bay drone shot.
Ambulance, but set in the world of one battle after another.
There are so many instances in this movie that are like that there is chaos around the corner, but the camera stays with the characters. The fucking amazing sequence that caps off this movie, the chase sequence, it's all these incredibly tight close-ups, which by the way, I don't know if you guys heard that when they shot this thing, those shots on the car were so perfect that they had to go back and loosen up the bolts on the camera to make it jerk a little bit because it was too good, because people would think that it was too perfect.
Yeah, people think it was like CGI or something. Yeah, that's so funny. I mean, this movie is just like, it has mentioned it whenever we're talking about something like No Other Choice, but like just the craftsmanship of this movie is just like it's like at a point beyond like a number scale of just putting this at like a 10 out of 10. It is somebody who is just so in their bag. But I do want to say that one thing about this movie that was at least a pleasant surprise for me, and I'm saying this is like Paul Thomas Anderson is my favorite working filmmaker. This does feel like a new slice of PTA. Like this is
new slice of the licorice pizza.
Hell yeah.
I mean, I think that licorice pizza in many ways was like kind of a a jumping off point for him, where he's just like, he made that movie, and in the press for that movie is like, I want to make movies for my kids. Like, I want to make movies that my kids and their friends would watch. And now this is kind of a movie where it's just like I want to make a movie for like the dads of kids, like, and also for my kids themselves, but like it's so much of it is a reflection of fatherhood, specifically, and we talked about this on the pod, but like a reflection of being a father of mixed race children and kind of what a lot of those elements are. I mean, this movie is incredible, and it's to the same thing that I mentioned whenever we talked about Eddington, that this movie is kind of evergreen in some of its topics. Like, as we are seeing horrible shit on the news every single day, and it's just like, well, I guess all we gotta do is just fucking keep fighting.
That's
all we can do. Just one battle after another, man.
That's why you keep it, like, people are upset with the vagueness of it. They're upset that they didn't just call them ICE, for example. And like, that's kind of why you do that. It's so that you could just watch this in like 50 years. And it's like, yeah, we're still doing that. We're still fighting. That organization has a new name now, but they're still there. You know?
And that's one of the things that I think that we talked about this a little bit on the pod about just the specificity and kind of the generalizations that they're making. It's that revolution, by definition, doesn't have an endpoint. Revolution is a direction that you go to. You're never going to reach a state of perfection. All that you can do is kind of like keep fighting for whatever it is. If it's liberalism, if it's just whatever your idea of like what freedom is, like that's all that you can do is just keep pushing and pushing and pushing. And you need that level of extremism in some ways to kind of push the envelope sometimes. And maybe this movie is like, I think that another like kind of knock, I want to say, criticism of the movie is like where it falls on the spectrum of like extremism versus like moderation as far as like what is the right way to push the envelope. I think this movie is kind of like where it ends is in a state of like, we need both. Like you can't have like finding a middle ground if you don't like push the envelope to the extreme. If you don't have your perfidia, then like you can't find the middle ground with the other side.
I also think it's, you know, it's valid, I think, to be upset with like the idea of the most revolutionary like black female character being the villain, like being like a bad character here. I don't think that,
I wouldn't say villain. Flawed.
I mean, the person that's sort of
Sean Penn is the villain.
Oh, 100%. But she like dooms so many people.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
She's like the rat.
Being so outwardly like a negative presence on the rest of the film that sets forward so many negative things. People are very, very upset with that. And that makes sense to me if you're, you know, taking her as like representative of all people like that. I just don't think that that's what PTA is doing.
Right.
You know what I mean? At the end of the day, this is just telling a story. It's a story populated by really, really cool, interesting, a few iconic characters. Collin, who's your favorite character in this? What's your favorite performance?
Lockjaw, Sean Penn.
Let's go.
Yeah. I figured.
Is it because like you could relate a lot to him?
You want to be a Christmas adventurer?
Yeah. Oh my God. Well, when's the last time Sean Penn's been this incredible? Like what?
Great question.
Milk 2008.
Did anyone even see Milk?
I've not.
He won an Oscar for Milk.
Yeah.
Personally, I've never.
Question still stands.
This is like an all-time great fucked up villain performance.
And again, to kind of the point that we were talking about with the Kevin O'Leary character is that it is in using our idea of Sean Penn like in real life for the character.
Monster.
Yeah.
He's just like a crusty guy, you know. Look, and yeah, with like honestly, yeah, with some seedy things about him.
He was good in Licorice Pizza.
Have you ever seen I Am Sam?
No. Oh God.
It's a scary performance. he's so fucking good in it.
Really?
And it's such a terrible movie.
I mean, he shouldn't
exist.
He's a guy who commits, you know, like he goes full out. He's like that. He is what best case scenario, what Shia LaBeouf ends up being in like 30 years.
I wanted he was my number 2 for my ballot behind Miles Caton, and then Benicio number 3 behind that.
Really, Benicio is my number 1. Actually, I put Benicio over Sean Penn.
Yeah, Benicio is incredible in this. I think that what Sean Penn is doing is so captivating. It's so fascinating to think about this guy who's giving himself over. We have all these goons who are working for ICE, who are terrorizing people, and they're just fucking chuds, man. They are never going to be accepted.
They're the Van Halen guy that they send out.
Yeah, exactly.
The riot.
Yeah, impersonating an actual protester to instigate violence.
It does a good job of portraying them as just dumb fucking idiots who just happen to, exist in a time period where they're people who look like them are the powerful people.
Yeah.
Like these guys are morons.
It's so genius how much this movie centers the character, the Sean Penn character, the Lockjaw character, and kind of gives you this whole through line, this whole journey that he goes on. And it ends so poignantly of him being welcomed into this club that's a fake version of what he thought he wanted. And he is convinced that it is exactly what he wanted. And yet it is his exact demise that he is burnt to a crisp. It's amazing. I mean, I think that the idea of centering that whole Christmas adventurers, white supremacy, oppressive police force aspect of this movie through this character is so genius. PTA is cooking in every single scene in this movie, but those in particular are shining through so much because of this performance, because of the way he chooses to play him, dancing between this ineptitude and this competence and this in over his head devoutness to this cause that's never going to pan out, that's never going to actually give him what he truly wants. Just a approximation that's so far off. I did also want to say real quick, back to the point of the sort of the carrying on of the struggle that you were bringing up before, the one battle after another of it all. That's something that, putting this movie at my number 1, it's like number 1 with a bullet forever, because it feels like the reason why it feels like an all-timer for me is because it's this idea of, I always think of now the phrase one battle after another, of this notion of we will pass this on to the next generation. Right. That's what this movie is trying to say to me. This idea of we will not solve these problems today. We will not solve them tomorrow. We will do what we can to do our part to chip away at the oppression, at the evil, and we will then take a step back and let the next generation take over.
Yeah, we'll smoke some fucking pot.
I think that's. I think
listen
that
to some Steely Dan.
There you go. Yeah, make a Steely Dan cover band. You gotta get like the speakers that make it sound like.
But you have to keep going forward. You have to keep trying.
Well, I think that to the point that you're kind of making here, like when Vineland was written, when PTA was writing this movie that we're seeing right now, ICE did not exist. Evil is always going to kind of evolve and change shapes, but it's always going to be there. And it is like what is kind of at the core of this movie is like you have to fight against it. Like whatever iteration that we're seeing, it's always
do your part.
The Christmas adventure, whether they're the fucking Klan or the Christmas adventurers, there's always going to be like this darkness, this seediness that is there, and it might evolve and it might change shapes, but it's always going to be there, and you have to continue to fucking fight against it. Merry Christmas, Hail Saint Nick.
Yeah, man. Evil doesn't die; it changes shape. Like Halloween ends.
Just like Halloween ends. Evil dies tonight.
Evil dies tonight.
So getting just to the nuts and bolts of like what makes this a great film. I by my count, I guess, let's see. It has 4 instantly iconic, unique characters. The look of them, the vibe of them, the performance are all unlike anything you've ever seen. That's like a high count.
Yeah.
Leo, Tiana, Benicio, Sean, Chase.
Yeah. Chase, that's like, as an archetype, that's a little more broad.
Perfidia.
You know what I mean? But yeah, Tiana. Yeah. That is a character and a performance that like it's instantly unforgettable. It's just like I've never seen that exact character portrayed. She is she'll give my supporting win. That's my supporting actress. It needs to work that well because the whole rest of the movie you have to be remembering her. Yeah. You know, you have
the shadow that she casts.
Yeah, she is it blew me away how good she was. I did not know she had chops like that. Like she's so cool. Leo's whole vibe, I think it's sort of getting forgotten because again,
he's so good in this,
and it's because of this movie is so multifaceted. It's so good in every single respect. He's stunningly good. This is a hard thing to pull off is a guy that's this like cooked and weathered and like seasoned.
You know, it's so funny. Go back a few months and we're just like, God, Leo, he's finally going to get his second Oscar. And now fucking Timmy came in here. He's like, it's mine. And meanwhile, you have Wagner Moura, who's like in the shadows, like, haha, here's my time to fucking swoop in here. We're looking at an old timer best actor race. Ethan Hawke is like, I would like a nomination, please.
The scene when he figures out that, Lockjaw is descending on his location and that his daughter, that Willa has been like extracted and he keeps hitting the joint and he can't remember
the password. That's the fact that he can't remember the password being like a recurring thing.
This movie
is so fucking funny. It's so good.
It's just
he's like, my brain, it's fried, man. I smoked too much weed.
It's just we don't have a lot of actors that age that I think could be so vulnerable. Like, you know what I mean? The fear you see in his eyes, like the low status that he's willing to put himself in. He's been doing that a lot lately, the last few years.
Even earlier when he's at like the parent teacher conference or whatever he's at, and he's like, Benjamin Franklin, fucking colonizer.
It's
fucking slave owner.
It's so specific, but it's touching on such like a type of guy. Like the way he speaks, he is so transformative from what Leo usually sounds like. And I don't know, like we take him for granted. It's really easy to because he's always great. But like this is like
just the promise of Leo and PTA together. Finally. It worked, man. We did it. We're here. Like it happened. I know that there's something so different about the anticipation of this movie and then watching this as just a movie, but there has to be some kind of amalgamation of the two, of like the cultural sort of the crash of this movie arriving and just the experience of watching it.
Yeah, it's just memorable moments, memorable characters, memorable sequences, a message that'll never not be relevant. It all congeals, and also it has the best, working director behind it. So it all looks phenomenal.
That he has never done before. The car chase, the rolling hills, Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah.
How
have we not seen that in a movie before?
Yeah, and that's why I think this gets a bump over Marty Supreme, for example, because that and Safdie movies in general are so full throttle, and every scene sort of bleeds so quickly into the next one that you don't get these defined moments the way that you get in this movie. You pause and you just spend so much time just rolling in the hills.
Yeah. From the moment that Willa closes her door with the camera like strapped to the door as it's slammed shut, all the way to when she has the trust device and is calling out.
It's so sick.
That whole sequence is absolutely transcendent.
So, Collin, you teased a reasoning as to why this is at number 3 for you.
Oh yeah, so my top 3 is like a trilogy, just like the Coworker trilogy. So One Battle After Another is at number 3 because it's PTA. Like come on, it's PTA. Like when they announced Warner Brothers is making PTA's next movie. It's an event film. It's shot on IMAX. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Because after VistaVision, because after Licorice Pizza, I was like, I love Licorice Pizza, but that's literally a movie you can only recommend to Paul Thomas Anderson fans. Who are you going to recommend Licorice Pizza to? Literally no one. Someone who grew up in the 70s. So I was like, Paul, let's fucking ring it in here. Make a crowd pleaser. Like, what are we doing? Making little niche movies? Like, we know you can do that. And then it blew my mind. I was like, oh my God, he did it. He made like a massive like blockbuster, and not just a movie where it's like, oh, it's for PTA fans. It's a movie that everyone should watch right now as like a modern classic.
And Collin, you should, you honestly should put this at number one, just because this movie is going to win you the Fantasy Film League. We should mention this will be your win.
Yeah, I fought tooth and nail for it, bidding higher and higher, and I was like, Warner Brothers making a Paul Thomas Anderson movie that they're claiming is an event film? Are you fucking kidding me? And then it has like a premiere at the DGAs, and Steven Spielberg is like, movie's actually a masterpiece. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? This is gold. This is a gold mine.
So how do we get like how is this a trilogy? Your top three?
Because One Battle After Another is number 3 because it's Paul Thomas Anderson. Like,
I don't understand I don't get what you mean by that.
Because he's the GOAT. Like, should we expect nothing
why
less?
is it number 3?
That makes it number 1.
Because Marty Supreme, number 2, Ping Pong, Timothée Chalamet, boring. Oh, surprise!
Because it shouldn't work.
Oh, yeah, that movie should suck.
Okay,
and then Weapons, number 1, because that's the movie I want to see all the time, and I finally got it.
I'm not sure I'm following your reasoning here.
I get it. I mean, Weapons, I completely get being your number 1. Like, that's like made in a lab for Collin.
I thought you were going to go with like the naming. It's like Paul Thomas Anderson, 3 words there. Marty Supreme, 2 words. Weapons, 1 word. I don't know, man.
It's all. I mean, it's like you were saying earlier, though. Like for you, if these are all 10s, then you're
splitting hairs.
You're splitting hairs, and we will. One day be buried, and our lists will go into the ground with us.
I will say we got to shout out Collin, Johnny Greenwood. I almost shouted out the bassist of Radiohead.
I thought you were shouting on me for the music of
the brother
Greenwood. After another.
Johnny Greenwood, composer on this film, knocking it out of the park. Probably like maybe his 3rd or 4th best PTA score.
Yeah, it's really funny.
And yet it's like one of the best things I've ever heard. The way, when you listen to the River of Hills track, the way he like bends the notes up to make you feel like you're going up and down on the track. Incredible. The Trust Device song, the whole little theme that he throws in there. There's so many moments in the soundtrack and the score that stand out to me and that make me just remember the movie. I can, like I said with Sinners, like I can just play this whole movie in my head. It's so memorable.
Yeah, exactly. The plot is so, I don't know. It breathes, and yet it moves quickly enough. Like it's a great combo. The location to location, each one memorable. It all works, man. Everything is in harmony. In one battle. I also do think that they fell upon the right title. I know there were title switches going on.
Vineland and then Bacton Cross.
Battle of Bacton Cross.
Yeah, both of those, absolutely not. One Battle After Another has a very timeless feel to it. Battle of Bacton Cross feels intentionally old.
Yeah.
To me. You know what I mean? And this is the perfect title for a movie like this.
We did it.
Yeah.
That's our list. Honorable mentions time. Collin, you want to go first?
Fuck, I want to go fucking third.
Yeah. So my number 11 was K-pop Demon Hunters.
Hey, wow. This is a good movie.
We're going up. It's our moment.
Golden is a great song. Soda Pop, great song. Like there's some fucking bangers in
Lee really liked it. She would probably put it on her list.
And then rounding out my honorable mentions is Freaky Tales.
Didn't see it.
What is that?
An anthology?
I don't remember much about it, but it was cool. Freaky Tales. And then, all right, I'm going to speed run through the rest of these. Avatar, Fire and Ash, The Naked Gun, The Perfect Neighbor, and then The Shrouds.
Nice. The Shrouds.
Your Shroud
I love
head?
that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shrouds.
My number 11 was 28 years later.
Same.
And
Yeah.
I
almost put it on here.
I'm
went for
glad
Wes
it didn't make
instead.
anyone's top 10.
Shut the fuck
I'm
up.
fine.
You
I'm fine
guys,
with
you
that.
guys both have the same invalid, stupid. No, I'm just kidding.
It's really good.
You both have a very valid critique of the movie. I watched all three in the same day.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's insane. I
Like, ready
literally
for the
waited
Bone
28
Temple?
years.
like a week ago. Go back and watch 28 Weeks.
Oh, that movie's a bad movie.
Well, that's what maybe
That
part of.
doesn't like make this one a good movie because the last one was a bad
No,
movie.
yeah, you're right. This one's a good movie because it's a good movie.
Yeah.
It's really
It's good. I like it.
It's really, really, really well made front to back. It has compelling performances. It has good characters. I think I get what you both have said about it feeling episodic. I think there's enough of a through line with this kid. I think that
Great kid performance.
I think that he is the driving force of the movie and of the narrative at the same time. And so I don't know. I just didn't think I'd like it, to be honest.
Really good.
The look of the trailer. Another thing that you said to me, Colin, that I thought was interesting is that you don't like zombie movies that are about after the new world is established. You like it like right.
Exactly.
I think that's honestly, I would typically agree with you. And so for all those reasons, I thought this movie would suck. And so I was so pleasantly surprised.
It's about Brexit. It's about Britain being an isolationist island.
I'm excited for Bone Temple.
We're getting Bone Temple.
Look, you've been very negative to me about my feelings on 28 Years Later. I think it's good. I don't think it's great. I think that there's some awesome aspects in it. I love the kid. I love Aaron Taylor Johnson in this movie is just like a shitty dad. Didn't love Jodie Comer.
See,
personally.
I thought she's phenomenal.
Really
So
did.
good.
I think that, well, I mean, this is more of a I don't blame her. I think that Alex Garland has never met a woman in his life is my theory
That's
that I'm
true.
working on.
When
he's
celibate.
he has no idea how to write a woman.
shaker.
He's never actually had a conversation with one. So he's just like, you will be the like lost in your own head woman. And that's kind of all that he gives to most of his characters. See, the most compelling woman that he's ever written is an Ex Machina, where he's writing quite literally a robot. So,
Facts.
you know,
the back half of the movie when it's just her and the kid, I think she has so much heart. Like I think
that he is great. I think the kid's great. It's mostly this movie's episodic. Look, I will say it was disqualified from our critics list.
Yeah.
But this was on my top 5 for cinematography.
It
'Cause
looks amazing.
The whip pans that are in this
The
are
kill
really
cam.
yeah,
sick.
it's just interesting stuff.
Really
like
cool
there's just a
stuff.
lot of interesting stuff here. It's painted out. It's fleshed out. Ray Fiennes is just like a fucking stud.
Bone Temple.
Bone Temple.
It just a lot. It worked emotionally better than I thought it would. I thought it would suck. So number 12, Naked Gun. We haven't talked about it nearly enough.
It's really good.
It's an awesome movie.
Yeah.
I'm just glad it got made. I love, happy for Akiva Schaffer, happy for comedy in general. Pam Anderson is just out of nowhere, really funny.
I'm happy for Liam.
I mean, yeah, it's huge for Liam.
Yeah.
Just front to back, just like a really solid movie. I think the end failed me a little bit because it doesn't look good. It looks
It's
stupid.
not a great.
The owl
It's not
thing-
a great set piece.
Yeah,
No.
it's an ugly set piece. And that knocked
Totally
it down.
blocked that
That's
out.
probably what kept it off my list, to be honest. Because other than that,
everyone running around like crazy at night.
it looks bad.
Like-
Yeah. Other than that, though, it's just a great comedy. With the ones that we haven't talked about, Superman's a good movie.
Superman's good.
Superman's a good movie.
Yeah.
Avatar Fire and Ash, I was very disappointed by. It's still an Avatar movie and it looks sick.
Varang is hot.
Roofman.
Varang is hot.
Facts.
Roofman.
Roofman's a really good movie.
Kiki was on my 5 for supporting actress.
She outclasses everyone else in the movie, including Channing, who's rightfully, he's getting so much praise for this because he's a good actor and people are just figuring that out.
You called it. It's ranking on Paramount Plus. Number 1 last few weeks.
Good movie. Wake Up Dead Man.
You saw it. It's great.
I was disappointed.
Oh,
I think positives.
O'Connor's great though.
Positives, 2 superstar performances. O'Connor.
do you agree with like my thing that like I think that's at this point Rian Johnson is kind of getting bored of the like a whodunit aspect of these movies, because I felt that the whodunit like in the third act it's just like I guess we just got to do this for like 15 minutes in the middle at the end of this movie.
The story failed me. I think also why does this feel like it was shot during COVID? I'm starting to think that Rian Johnson just doesn't like directing extras or something. Why is the church empty all the time? That's stupid. I know that he wrote a reasoning behind it. It makes the movie look and feel worse to me. That there's just like just these characters and no outside world whatsoever. Like, I think that sucks. But like I said, 2 superstar performances and then really interesting ideas. Narrative just didn't really do anything at all. It's still a cool movie and he's still cool. Collin, you had thoughts
on what?
About the Knives Out movies in general, I guess. I don't know if you even watched this one.
I haven't seen Wake Up Dead Man. Like, I think they're good, but I wish they had a bit more of a slight edge to them. They feel very clean and safe.
That's fair.
It's an Agatha Christie thing. I think this is like, there's not going to really be a sharp edge because Rian Johnson is most interested with these stories of like, I want to make rich people or affluent people murder mystery kind of things and make them very clean. But you know, eyes of the beholder. There's a couple docs that just missed my cut. Number 11 for me was The Perfect Neighbor. Just one of the most affecting documentaries I've seen some time. Also shout out to Predators. I talked more in depth about them on a prior pod, so I won't go into them too much. My number 12 was Ephus. Which I really
wanted to see.
Shouted out.
I didn't get a chance to see this.
I really love this movie. It's sitting so well in my head. Carson Lund is another one of those guys that I can't wait to see what he does next. Another one of first feature film that I found very exciting was Lurker by Alex Russell. This was a big hit at, I think, Telluride this year, I think is where it premiered. It has a lot of energy. Basically, the short premise of it is that it's a guy. Think of The Weeknd pre like Kissland in Toronto, but it's set in like Southern California, like that level of like a R&B hip hop type artist that's like just about to blow up and has a couple like songs that are pretty good. And super fan who tries to like infiltrate this friend group and like assimilate himself with this group. Really cool movie, really fun and fresh. The music in it's actually good, which you kind of need to have in this movie to make it work. So I love that movie a lot. 2 foreign films, The Secret Agent, which I think looks like $1 million. Like, I love the way this movie is shot. It made my list for best cinematography of the year because I think it just looks so goddamn good.
Production design as well.
Production design's great. Wagner Moore is fucking awesome.
Golden Globe winner. He
actually, like, in a non Marty Supreme world, I would not be mad at all if he won because I think he is excellent, as well as Tania Maria, who plays Donna Sebastiana. In a supporting role. I think she's great. The other one is Cloud, Kiyoshi Kurosawa's movie, which I shouted out a few months ago. Really cool, ultra modern movie about like creating an internet persona. And then like, what if you rip people off online and then people are like, hey, we should find that guy and kill him.
I'm obsessed with you becoming an iPad guy all of a sudden.
Look, it's great. Look, this is a new me.
You're using it like a fucking maestro.
Yeah, like I'm here now. Train Dreams,
like a balls.
Train Dreams is a movie that grew a lot on my list with a second watch. Really love Train Dreams.
Train Dreams, weirdly, it's getting. I don't know. There's discourse about it.
It's a great movie.
It didn't work maybe it just didn't work as well for me because it was like one of those movies that I saw like the third movie in a row kind of thing.
It's
and like
beautiful.
One day during the grind. It's such a gorgeous movie. It is beautiful. Joel Edgerton is really great in the movie. Super understated, which is I think where like the lane that he lives in best. And then the last 2 movies I want to shout out are Blue Moon. Ernest, you talked a bit about it.
I'm excited to watch that.
It's really
Ethan Hawke's performance is
great.
great.
Have sold me on that.
He's got to get the nom for this.
He's really awesome. And then another documentary, Pavements. That's getting kind of lost a bit.
I gotta watch Pavements.
You gotta lock into Pavements. It's just incredible.
You haven't seen it?
I know. Pavement is one of my like 3 favorite bands ever.
Yeah,
I'm really excited.
It's really great. Also, F1's a good movie, and I don't care what Ernest says.
Oh,
okay.
You didn't like F1?
No,
Is that the promo?
it's fine.
I feel like you would like
F1's
that.
great, man. Joseph Kosinski is like one of the best action directors that we have right now.
It
I
already
don't know
has
how
a
you
rewatchable.
don't like it.
All right.
Yeah, using the barometer that Drew set up earlier, that means it's a great movie.
I'm gonna shout out the Discord fam here. Brett said he loved One Battle, Weapons, and Marty Supreme.
Okay, well, why don't the really original stuff?
Jesus.
Zach
Fuck, the best movies of the
I'm
year.
making fun of
What the
us because we all said that.
Zach loved Black Bag, Splitsville, and Naked Gun.
Splitsville, need to see.
Splitsville. Yeah.
William liked Sinners, Frankenstein, Black Bag, One Battle, and Superman. Ray shouts out The Naked Gun, Sinners, and Frankenstein.
God, so much Naked Gun love. Let's go.
We need to support your mom and pop comedy film.
Yeah.
It's a masterpiece.
I think in a world where Friendship doesn't come out this year, I actually think it might have got a spot on my top 10 just to shout out a comedy.
If it ended better, it's easily in my top 10. I just can't get the image of that stupid fucking owl out of my head.
I blocked that out completely.
It's so
I
ugly.
did too.
Harry
Talking about.
Harry loves Sinners, and also he shouts out the scene in Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning of Shea Wiggin pulling out a gun, lowering the gun, shaking his hand, turning into a dab, and then going in for the side hug.
Man, Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, one of the bigger disappointments of the year, but goddamn that moment is fucking hilarious. It's so goddamn good in all the wrong ways. And they do it. I will still say that there's two extended sequences in Mission Impossible Final Reckoning, which are the best thing I've seen this year, between the submarine and then the plane.
Mallory says that the scene in Tron Ares where Jared Leto says he loved Depeche Mode. Annabelle shouts
I'm
out.
gonna take your word for it, Mallory.
Annabelle shouts out Rental Family.
Mhm, she was a big fan.
Let's go.
Adam shouts out Marty Supreme, Eddington, Wake Up Dead Man, Sentimental Value, Friendship, If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. And Victoria says One Battle and Materialists.
I couldn't get there with that.
Yeah.
Jess posted their top 10. One Battle After Another, No Other Choice. It was just an accident. Marty, Sentimental Value, Friendship. Deaf President Now. I haven't heard of that.
I know.
Anyone heard of that?
No, I saw that poster and I was like, what on earth?
Begonia, Rental Family, and Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning.
Yeah. There's dozens of us.
You did not bring that movie up.
It's in my honorable mentions.
I didn't hear
Deep
it once.
honorable mentions.
Guys, Hamnet was pretty good.
Yeah, no Hamnet.
Hamid.
It's a good movie. Also, shout out to Surratt, an absolutely harrowing movie.
Yeah, that movie didn't entirely work for me, but some of the aspects of it, the shock value of that movie works really well, and the score is sick. It's a really cool score.
Mickey 17, not that bad.
That's not making the honorable mention.
It's pretty good. Also, I saw a movie called Resurrection, this Chinese movie.
hey.
Has anyone heard of this?
Yes,
I've heard of it,
I'm
yeah.
really. I wanted to watch this, and then my screener link expired.
It's really weird, but it looks amazing.
yeah.
And it has an extended one take sequence that closes out the movie. That's very good. I'd love to get you guys' take on it if you ever check it out. Very strange movie. Okay, that does it. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you, Collin, for joining us for Listomania. Hopefully we'll have you back again next year. Any parting words? Anything you want to say before we close?
Yeah, thanks for having me on. And then lastly, a Minecraft movie. I actually kind of liked it a little bit.
Good.
I liked it a little bit. Yeah, saw it in theaters. Liked it a little bit.
Yeah.
Wasn't that bad.
Please.
That bad.
That's your take of the year.
You liked it a little.
You could have given me a
It was
million guesses.
It was like a 5 out of 10, but
Oh, good.
liked it a little bit.
Yeah.
Rate, review, and subscribe, like, and comment. Let us know your thoughts on your favorite movies of 2025. Join the Discord, patreon.com/WeBoughtAMic, WeBoughtAMic.net. Get every episode in your inbox. Next week, it's best TV shows of 2025 with our usual special guest we've had the last few years, Mr. Dane.
The TV king, really. It's you and him, Ernest, are up for TV like the throne.
I'm in the Drew position. I don't know what I might put on like Binging with Babish as like my top TV of the year.
Dude,
now. Like I just, you know.
I got deep on him this year too.
Oh, I've been in Babish's bag for years now.
And then after that, it's the annual WBAMs. So stick around. Thanks again, Collin. See you next time. We love you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Love you too.
Bye.